Now get ready for the power of Groove.ai. Become a member of Groove today. We'll groove all the way. Automate your marketing with the power of Groove.ai. Discover the secrets today. Groove.ai is starting now. Now get ready for the power of Groove.ai. Become a member of Groove today. We'll groove all the way. Automate your marketing with the power of Groove.ai. Discover the secrets today. Groove.ai is starting now.
All right, everybody. Welcome. Mike Filsaime here. Today, we are going to be going over basically prepping you for what's going to be happening Tuesday. That's the real important thing. So the good news is you're going to be getting access to your white labels sometime between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're doing a third tomorrow. We're doing a third Saturday, and we're doing a third on Sunday. I think maybe Monday. So I think it's a quarter Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then just a reminder on Tuesday, the 30th, Tuesday, January 30th. Do I have that right? Let me just see here. Or is it Monday? Bear with me. A Groove.ai access training is Monday. So yeah, okay. So Donna, can you help me out here? I have it on my schedule for both. And I thought it was Tuesday.
You had told me Tuesday. I believe that's when it's scheduled. So I will confirm, but you said Tuesday the 30th to me previously.
Yeah, it's on my schedule for both days with my handwriting, technically. So you know, I added them. Yeah. So so Tuesday at I believe, or is it Monday? Because now I don't even see it for Tuesday. Let's see. We're going to confirm that with you. I think it's posted in the Facebook group. I could have messed that up. Maybe it is Monday. Sorry, guys. We'll find out. We'll get that confirmed for you. Rob Murray says, yes, it's Tuesday. So let me
it is scheduled for this time on Tuesday. The stream is already scheduled.
Okay. So Tuesday. Okay. Got it. So Tuesday, 2 p.m. We're going to go from 2 and on. So it's going to be quite a long day on Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm just going to put Groove.ai training. Okay. And when we do that training, we're going to be doing that with Amanda Vandergulik, and she's going to be, we're going to be building her site live and everything. I also have some new templates for you as well that we're going to be showing off for you as well. So that's exciting. Some of you may like these new templates and want to be getting ready with that. So remember, you're going to need, excuse me, getting over a bad flu that I picked up on the cruise. Donna still has it. She's sick as well. I'm doing much better. Last week was a tough week for me. Just a reminder, you're going to need a domain. That's going to be the most important thing for you to get up and running. And let me just see here. I've got. I'm just going to pass this over, share my screen. I believe there's one more template here that we're working on for you. And then we'll jump right in. Share screen. Let's do entire screen. We want this one. And add to stage. All right, this is a brand new template here as well that we had made for you here. And we're also, this one right here is like a black and green with a little bit of purple. We're going to be making a couple of new variations for these as well. And we're also working on your marketing funnels for you as well. We're working on your videos. So really nice, exciting stuff that you're going to have available for you. All right, so let's get back just to me here. And I want to talk about a change that's going to be happening. It's actually going to be good for you. You're not going to see this right away on the white label. So let's say if the white label is happening, you're getting your sites up and running somewhere around, let's just say, February 1st. It's going to be every way that we had originally described for you, but we're going to be transitioning to a new model with the way that the APIs are going to work. And I think you're going to appreciate that a little bit better. So I'm going to share my screen here and just jump in with that one first. And just bear with me a minute while I get that document up for you. Bear with me here. Okay, we'll use this one here.
Do you mean to be? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I wasn't sure which icon to use. I think we'll go full screen here. I think that'll work well. And I'll zoom this up a little bit bigger. Basically, I'll come on here and I'll explain it first because there's a lot to read there and I don't want you to get confused. So here's what we've decided to do, and there's a reason behind this. We've decided that Groove is going to use the API for the entire platform. It's going to be the Groove API. Users aren't going to have to go in and put their API in for overflow, and white label owners aren't going to be putting in their API to OpenAI. You're just going to jump in. It's going to, the entire platform is going to work on Groove's API key, and Groove is going to bill you instead of OpenAI billing you at the wholesale pricing. So that's the first thing that you should know. It's just going to be easy for your users. The second thing that that we want to let you know is that in the past, when the users ran out of tokens, if you remember, we were going to be giving them, let's say, $25 worth of tokens from OpenAI at the $299 plan on your account. And then once they use that amount of money, the maximum to you of 25 in the old scenario, what would happen is if they wanted to do any overflow for the rest of the month, they'd have their API on file and they would get billed themselves. That is going to be going away as well. What's going to happen once they run out of credits, I believe at the $99 plan, they get $5 worth of credits, and then you keep $94 worth of profit. At the $199 plan, I believe they get $10 worth of credits. And at the $299 plan, they get $25 worth of credits. Once that happens, what they're going to have is they're going to have the ability to buy a, excuse me, bear with me. The end user is going to have the option, if at any point they run out of, their allotted credits for the month, there's going to be something that's called rollover credits. And the rollover credits are going to be bought in packs of $25. They'll even be able to automatically re-up. There'll be an option for that once they get below like $3, it'll just cap them back up again at $25. And what that means is in any given month, let's say their $99 a month allows them to $5 worth of credits. And if you remember last time, and I'll cover that for you, I think it gives them about 125,000 words. It's a lot of words for $5. If at any point they go over that, they'll get a little warning that, hey, you're out of your tokens for the month, and they'll need to buy a rollover pack. And if they buy a rollover pack, they're going to pay $25 for that. But there's some good news that's going to happen here with that you're going to like. And when they do that, that's going to give them credits at they'll get 25% of the credits that they normally would with OpenAI. So what that means is, if you look at like the way High Level does their white label, High Level does their white label, and then you, the white label owner, buys the email messages from them, and then you can mark it up to your end user. So what this essentially means is, let's say for are you guys hearing that? It was like an Amber Alert just went off. Donna,
I did not.
Okay. Bear with me just a second. My earpods just went out. I hear you, Donna, but just it came through my computer speakers. Bear with me a second. Yeah, an Amber Alert just went through my my computer and knocked my earpods out. Very strange. All right, let me go back into here. Click settings, audio. All right, Donna, can you just give me an audio test?
You sound good to me.
Okay, and I hear you. All right, fantastic. Thank you. We're back. All right. So what I was saying with at High Level, when for every 1,000 emails you send, they're going to charge you as the white label owner, let's just say $1. And then what you do is you, inside of your dashboard, you have the ability to mark that up to your end user, and you could charge them $2 or $3. When watching any YouTube video on people explaining to you about Go High Level's white label solution, what they tell you is, what solution is, I make more money with email with my clients than I actually do charging them a subscription. So, sorry, post-flu. So with that said, that is the strategy that we're going to be going at. That's going to allow you to not have to have the user go to OpenAI, get their own API key, plug it in. They'll simply just, the system will just automatically work for you, and it'll automatically work for them. You don't have to put your API key into the system. They don't have to put their API key into the system. Where you were going to be paying OpenAI per user up to a maximum of $5 on the $99 plan, $10 on the $199 plan, and $25 on the $299 plan. And it's not $25 per user. It's if that user used $25, then you would have paid OpenAI $25. If that user didn't log in that month, then you wouldn't pay anything. And if that user logged in and only used $6 worth of credits, then you would only pay $6 to OpenAI. So that's going to be changing. You'll be using our API, and we'll be doing the monitoring. And so you'll pay us instead of them. No difference in cost to you. The difference is also that your user doesn't have to put a backup API key for when their monthly credits end up. They'll buy rollover credits that can be used from now till the end of time until they expire once they're out of their monthly credits. So again, let's just say you're an end user. You're paying $99 a month. You get $5 worth of credits. That $5 gives you about 125,000 words. Well, what happens is, let's say by the 20th of the month, they've just hit that credit. Well, they won't be able to use the system unless in the past they had a backup key. Now they're simply going to buy rollover credits. And that rollover credit's going to allow them to use it. And if they now have $25 worth and they only use $3, not a problem. At the first of the month, they go back to using the credits that you provide them. And their rollover credits can last until they're used, but they get rolled over to the next month, so they don't get wiped out each month. There's a document here that explains it. I'll share that document with everyone later today. Let me just show that to you again. That's this document that you're seeing here. So again, the end user will always use the Groove.ai OpenAI API key. A Groove.ai will pay OpenAI for all costs that are on the app. The end users will no longer need to use their own API key. There's no clunky app where the users have to use their own API key. As I said here, I'll be sharing this document with you. This shows you here from the point of view of the user. There's a lot more information here than you'll certainly need for your web page. You're simply just going to say, $99, this many words, $199, this many words, et cetera, and it also gets broken out into the number of images they make in the future and all those different things. So we also have it here from the point of view of the white label owner and then from the point of view of Groove. So I want to talk about just one more thing on there, just a reminder. So somebody is saying, can they put a backup key if they choose? No, there's going to be no backup key. They'll simply just get a certain amount of usage. And I'll give you just an example of something that, we wish we had, right? And somebody's asking, what if they're using a different engine than OpenAI? We're going to be paying for all the tokens, and we'll have a token billing system, and the user will simply buy, once they buy those rollover credits, it'll be used to any API that's used in the system, and we're just going to do all the monitoring. That way, the user doesn't have to get an API key for Midjourney and then an API key, they won't need an API key for Google and Stable Diffusion and all that. It's just going to be one nice, simple system that tells them, hey, you get a certain amount of usage per month. Now, I want to explain this to you in a way that's easy and something that some of you might even have wished that you've had. If any of you use ChatGPT Plus, right? And maybe you're using one of the GPTs that I've shared with you, you've probably noticed that when you're using it, it says, hey, you've reached your maximum amount of usage for the day. We're putting you on pause. Come back at 10:54 p.m. And you're like, oh my goodness, I'm in the middle of working right now. I want more credits, but I'm in the middle of a flow and I can't work until 10:54. And then you forget at 10:54 and you remember at midnight and you start working at midnight. And by 12:45, they're like, hey, you've used your total number of tokens. I've spoken with Donna before, and I've said two things. Number one, I wish they had an upgrade path where I could upgrade. I'd gladly pay $40, $50, $90 per month. Just give me the ability to do more tokens. They don't. The other thing I wish that they would let me do is just let me pay $25 and let me just use it unlimited until those $25 comes up, and I'll just pay another $25. Maybe that $25 will buy me another several days or whatever the case is. So let me explain to you one more thing in terms of why that happened. And again, I'm giving you the behind the scenes. You don't really need to take too many notes of it. I'm going to be sharing this Google Doc with you. I might have a couple of little internal things here that I've just got to, clone on the back, on the back end of this and make a document. You can expect that by end of day tomorrow, there's going to be an actual document with all final terms, pricing, tiers, what the user gets, basically all of the things that you need to build your websites, you will have tomorrow by 5 p.m. in a Google Doc. I'll be working on all of that, how you're pricing, how it's going to work. It's going to be an entire final sheet for you. Again, these things are always subject to change, but anytime we make a change, we really want to do it more in your favor. Let me explain to you just, so Facebook user there doesn't have a name, so it's simplified for you, the user. That's the thing, folks. When you use something like Jasper or you use something like ChatGPT Plus, you just get in there and it just works. It's also simplified for you as the white label owner. Instead of you having to go to OpenAI, and remember, you're going to have to do this at least for the first 30 days. We're making these changes for you to have the ability to make more money from your white label rather than letting the user just use their API key and paying OpenAI. They're gonna pay us, and we're going to share that revenue with you. So basically, what we're doing is where in the past they were allowed to use their own OpenAI API key. Now they're going to use ours. We're marking it up at the rate of 4x, and then we're sharing half of that with you. So basically, if the customer now pays $100, you're going to get $50 of that 100, and then the user will get $25. So we will all you're going to make $50 and we're going to make, we're going to split the profits essentially 50-50 on the user. So there'll be an opportunity now for you every single time that they buy that rollover pack. It's going to work with Stripe Connect. You'll use your Stripe account. And as soon as they pay us for the credits in the background, or I think they're going to be paying you and then you're going to be paying us, and then we're going to pay for all of the the API. So you'll pretty much, if you get $100, $50, or whatever, or $33, whatever the split is, going to go directly to you. And then you're just instantly paid, and then we pay all of the expenses at that point, and we don't bill you because we've already baked it into the pricing. So let me explain to you here, if I share my screen, why this happened. And we racked our heads with this, and it's these apps that you see right now that are currently headed over to ChatGPT. So we're in the process of building them natively into the application. So they're just going to run natively into the application. And the way that these work is we use this right here. Let's make my screen a little bit bigger here for you. When we go to, I think you might want my screen a little bit bigger. Bear with me just a second. Okay, that's going to make my screen really big. That should help a little bit more. So let's log in. So they have these things here called assistants, right? And these are very, very similar to the GPTs. If we go to ChatGPT and we take, let's just take a simple one here. Something like this, copy polisher. We hit edit. This is how a GPT is essentially created. It's a clone here, and over in OpenAI, it's the assistant. So I would click create, right? I would give it a name. I would just, this is what my team is doing. This is my API, OpenAI account. Groove.ai has its own. So we're building them over there. We would take the instructions. I would paste the instructions in here just like that. Then we choose the model, and that's GPT-4 1106 preview. And then I see, what did we check off over here? We didn't upload any knowledge. We allowed DALL-E for image integration. We check off any of those boxes. We didn't have any additional actions. And so we simply click save. And now we have an assistant that can be used with Groove.ai. We simply go into here, we get this assistant ID, and some of you are starting to see already where I'm going with this. The next thing is, you'll notice when we run an assistant, okay, so let's just go and run this. You're going to notice if I say, okay, improve my copy, let's make it better. Let's use a different GPT that'll give an example. Oh, we could actually use this. Let's say I just open this up, right? And I take something that maybe had some copy in it. And I put it in there. I want you to see something, what's happening right now. And I'm just going to let that start, and I'll hit the stop button. I'll just hit refresh because we don't need to see that play out. So basically what happened, guys, is this document right here gets uploaded when we do it with our assistants into something called files, right? So if you can see, this is me loading up some different files for it to use. So my point that I'm making is that when you work with ChatGPT in something like this, and we turn on the chat and we say, tell me about Ben Franklin, right? We had the ability in the background of this code to say, use this API key. And that's why lifetime users were able to use their own API key. Your users would use it as an overflow. And Antoine, you said only Stripe, no PayPal. We understand that some of you don't have Stripe, but in order for the marketplace to work for us to be able to pay you, we're going to be just using Stripe. If not, we'll probably work something out with PayPal's adapted payments as well. So when they buy the rollover credits, so that it could pay you and us at the same time, we'll work that out as well. I think it'll first start with Stripe and then with PayPal. If you don't have a Stripe account, they'll pay us and then we'll pay you separately. But don't get lost in those weeds right there. You'll still be able to participate in the profits. My point that I'm making here is that when we look at this, when it's all said and done, if we look back here, we see the system prompt that's sent, and we sent that to your API. And that's easy for us to create something that worked like this. What we're starting to realize, the way that these assistants work, or these things right here, these things do not call an API in the background. So we cannot simply say, run this GPT off of the white label owner. And then if it runs out, run it to the API key of the end user if they have their own API key on file. No, the way that these things work as we're building them, and Artie came up to me, he said, Mike, we have a problem. And I said, what is it? He says, these GPTs have to be run off of one account. They run off of this account right here where I have this assistant with this key. So now we're no longer passing the API key. We have to pass this assistant key, and these assistants work with a file database that happens at one OpenAI account. So basically what Artie had told me, he says, Mike, there's no way that we can have these assistants run anywhere other than one account. And the only other way around it, and I think you'll understand how ridiculous this would be, is every single one of you would have to take all of these assistants and go and build them on your own API. And we'd have to say, okay, you have to build this one, you have to build this one, you have to build this one. And every time we added a new one, you'd have to go and update it. And then if your user ran out of credits, they would have no way of continuing to use the app with rollover credits. It just wouldn't be possible. So we were like, okay, this is absolutely not going to work. We are going to build all of the apps native into Groove.ai. Groove is just going to pay for all of the billing for you and for your users. And you will pay us, instead of OpenAI, a maximum of $5 per month per user on the $99 plan, a maximum of $10 on the $199 plan, and a maximum of $25 if they use that much on the $299 plan. So you'll have a credit card on file with us, and we'll bill you per user at, you're getting 10 to 15x markup on those users. So you'll be in good shape. And then remember, if they run out, they buy those rollover credits basically from us, and you'll be profiting in those rollover credits with us as well. So that's all good news for you. Again, it's more complicated me explaining it to you than it will be for the end user. The end user is just going to come up and it's just going to work. And like ChatGPT Plus, where they get that warning that says, hey, you've run out of credits, you'll have to either upgrade your plan to more credits, or you could buy rollover credits. They can, if they want, just pay $25 and then use that, until they run out of those credits. So let me just take a look at what you guys are saying here. Will Groove API credits cost more than OpenAI? So you guys, if you'll notice here in this document, so let me shut this off because that annoys people sometimes when you're trying to read. You will see there are two types of credits. We don't need this that large anymore. There's something that we call type A credits and type B credits. Again, this is something the user doesn't really need to know. The type A credits are basically the credits that they get each month. When they pay $299, they get $25 worth of tokens. Those are their type A credits. You will buy the type A credits from us at the wholesale pricing that you would pay OpenAI. You pay us the identical thing. So you are not paying more money for the credits from us. But then the type B credits, this is the rollover credits, all right? So the rollover credits happen when they run out of credits, let's say on the 21st of the month, they've used all $25 of their credits. The app will tell them that the only thing they can do now is buy a rollover credit pack. They will pay $25 for it. And they will, now $25 normally gets 625,000 words. But in this case, they're only going to get 156,000 because we're marking it up so that we double the price for you, and then we basically split the profits after that. So that's the way that's working. Again, I'll release this document to you, but again, the simple thing for the user is this will just work. The simple thing for you as a white label owner is that this will just work. Again, unfortunately, this happened when we looked at building out these apps that we realized, hey, it's just going to have to be there. And it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It's just easier for us to just handle everything for you and just make it much easier. The same way High Level does it with the emails. They're not telling you to go out and get a third-party SendGrid account. Everything just works completely. In fact, we're doing that for Groove.ai when we do the white label with that. We're just going to handle everything. So the good news is it doesn't cost you anything, and the user will pay for credits where you're going to split in the profits for them. Okay, so I will release this document there for you. I'm just going to go back through, just read your questions, just making sure that all of this makes sense for you. And again, remember, this is going to take place sometime in March. The way the app is going to be released this weekend to you is the old school way. We're going to be giving you the app where you add your API key and the user will put their overflow in, and we're going to be working as fast as we can to change that and put the new billing system in. But again, this is something that just happened about a week ago when we got off the cruise, and we started building these apps, and Artie said, hey, there's no way to inject their API key into those apps because it works with these assistant keys, which means that these assistants have to be pre-built and can only work on one account. So what that also means is that your users, when they get access to the app, if you start selling it, starting Tuesday, and you get up and running very, very quickly, we're going to leave the apps in the system temporarily as GPTs, and they'll just use their ChatGPT Plus account until we build that entire new system over with the billing, and that's our top priority. It'll probably take us the entire month of February. Hopefully we get it done before the end of February, but we're saying, we're letting you know that it'll be sometime in March. So let's look at some of the questions here. So I'm just going to read these, and while I put them on screen, let's see. Hey, Mike, is there any way we can have the assistant's creator name anonymous so that the white label is not branded? Well, keep in mind, these assistants that you see right here that go to ChatGPT are no longer going to be here. They're going to load right inside of the app, just like this. It's just going to load just like this, as you see here. There'll be this panel right here is going to switch to have more of a panel that looks like this. Maybe something along the lines, but they won't even see that. It's literally just going to work like a chat. It'll work more like this. Okay, it's simply just going to work like a chat. They'll go into a chat and they'll work with the GPT just like they currently do, but there'll be no branding that says created by Mike Filsaime. Says Groove tutorial says looks great, easier for all users. Excellent. So we see now the API rollover pricing changes make sense. Yeah, it was a little complicated. I didn't want to just start with the Google Doc. I wanted to basically let you know how it works. Again, for the end user, they're going to love it. They're going to sign up and they're just going to go in, and they're not going to have this complicated onboarding process that you guys currently do, where you have to go to the help center, you have to watch these videos, a blog post about adding this key and adding this key and adding this key. We're just going to take care of all of those uses for you. All right. Of course, there'll be a replay to this. Let's see what this next question is. Will the user need to contact support for credits, or no? There's going to be a nice little bar that's going to pop up right here and warn them when they're down to about 10% of their credits left for that given month. And they're also going to have the ability right in here in a project. We're going to warn them. Let's say they have $25 and they're down to their last $5, which is essentially about 20% of their credits. We're going to give them a little bar, an alert bar, that's going to show up, and it's going to let them know that, hey, they've gone through 75% of their credits. We're going to recommend that they drop their model down to like a 3.5, which will get them 10 times more usage it's literally 10 times more usage than the other. And we'll tell them to do that. And we'll also tell them, or we recommend that they click here. There'll be a little click here to buy a rollover pack. There'll be a video that'll explain. There'll be a button right there where they can check out, and it'll just give them credits right to the rollover pack, and then they can continue to use the app without any interruption. They can have an auto rebill, and then the app will just always work. But again, they'll never have to put in their own API key. So the users will not have to contact support. There'll just be a nice place right here in their profile that, they'll, let's go out here. They'll have a little thing in their profile or in their settings that will, tell them about their usage and billing and credits, and a button for them to buy. So let's see here. As I'm even more confused about what I can offer our customers as white label and Groove.ai, for that reason, may we delay the billing of the white label until we can confidently offer it to our prospects. So no, absolutely not. That's not going to be happening. I'm going to say this, and I understand that some of you may like this, and folks, this is where we're going to separate the wheat from the chaff. Honestly, I hate to have discussions like this in public, but at a certain point, I'm going to tell you what I'm telling my staff. I'm going to be moving the Groove.ai white label to its own Facebook group. It will not be part of the Groove.ai. The Groove.ai is just going to be for end users. We're going to be going into the Groove.ai white label group. We'll be creating that, moving you all over. We'll be having our discussions there. And the next thing that I want to know, and I understand this, and like I said, this is where we're going to separate the wheat from the chaff. Some of you, may prefer to just stay with us as customers, and some of you will stay on with us as partners. The way that I'm looking at the Groove.ai white label is we're looking for partners in this. You pay us for the service. We give you the ability to keep 100% of the profits. The way that we're going to be advertising Groove.ai is we're going to be advertising it to people that run SMMAs, social media marketing agencies, influencers, gurus, people that have their own influence. What we are not going to be doing is marketing this as a business opportunity. You will not be seeing ads that basically, just say, do the math type of offers. Like, hey, start your own white label agency. We give you templates. We give you this. We give you this. We give you this. We give you this. Imagine having just 10 clients paying you $100 a month. You can make this. That is not what we're going to be doing, because that customer is going to be coming in and asking us, hey, how do I get traffic? Can you guys please give us training on how to get traffic? I've had my white label. I've already paid $1,500. I don't have a user. Then this white label is not for you. And I'm letting you know right now, you have an opportunity to contact us to cancel your billing. We are looking for people that have their own marketing skills and see the white label as an opportunity to say, hey, I already have a reach. I have an audience, or I have an agency, and this is an add-on service, and this is a plug and play into their business. I'm going to encourage you very, very often that this may not be for you. And I hope it is, and I hope we're attracting the right partners. But if we're seeing anything that says, hey, delay the white label billing for 3 days, or delay it for 5 days, or anything like that, please, first off, no, that's not going to happen. Again, this is the final time we're here. I'm going to be firm, and you're seeing the firm side of me. I'm letting you also know right now that we will delete any of those posts inside the Facebook group. And if you, not you, if that person tends to be whining and a pain in the ass, then they're just going to get banned from the Groove.ai Facebook group in the meantime, until we get the new one done. I say this all the time. The Facebook group is a place for positivity. It is a privilege, not a right. When you purchase Groove.cm or you purchase Groove.ai, certainly we want community support. You have the right to ask questions. Hey, this was supposed to be done this day. Why is it? We understand all of that. But when it crosses a certain line where this is where we say a privilege, not a right, and you come into the Facebook group and you see a user that's just all blowing up, many of you just look away and go, I don't even want to be here today. We don't want to have that type of community. Now, the question that was just asked is a fair question. Can we delay the billing? let us have a chance to build our website up and get the marketing first. Look, I understand your position. The $497 may be a lot of money to you, and you want that extra week, but that's not going to happen. Here, let's just face the facts. When you buy a white label, which is very rare, not many companies offer a white label, or if you buy any software that you actually install yourself, you don't ever get to say, hey, let me get the thing installed before I start paying for it. You pay, you get a script, you get it installed. If you look at high level, when you get the white label, you pay them, you start working with them immediately. And if it takes you a week to 10 days to build your site, connect your Stripe, get all of these things up and running, you don't go to high level and say, hey, is there any way that you can, refund me for the first 2 weeks? Because it took me 2 weeks to get my white label up. So I'm going to be firm with this. I'm going to say it right here. If this is breaking your bank, and you're asking us to give you a 7-day or 10-day grace period, we're just not going to do it. The billings will start for some of you tomorrow. Some of you get billed, and then many of you, purchased on the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. We're not going to start going in and seeing, okay, well, this person ordered on the 2nd, back 4 months ago. Let's give them 3 days. Let's give this user 2 days. It's just not going to happen. So, I'm just so you know, I'm expecting out of the 680 white labels that we had with 110 people that canceled, believe it or not, we're expecting about 50% to 2/3 of you to jump in and jump out. And I told my partners that from the beginning. I said, look, Matt, Donna, a lot of people bought this as a biz op. They're going to buy it. It was a free trial. They're going to get in. They're going to see. They're going to build their site. They're going to pay $497. They'll pay $497, and they may get 1 or 2 clients. And I'm just letting you guys know, just right out here, better you cancel because this is not a business opportunity. If you choose to cut your teeth with this, I applaud you. Go for it. Figure out how traffic works, figure out how to advertise it and all those things. But there's not going to be training from Groove. And I'm just being honest, we're not going to be tolerating. I'm not going to let this white label group be, hey, this is unfair. Groove needs to be teaching us how to get customers. Please do me a favor. This is the opportunity that I could say this and you could love me for it because you haven't been billed. Now would be the time to cancel. Because that's not what the white label is. We're looking for people, as I said, that have some type of influence. They have some type of marketing skills, and they're just like, I just can't wait to get this. Just give me the dang templates already. I'm ready to go. I've already seen, I think Kevin Strite sent me something here. Let me just look up Kevin. Maybe he'll get upset that I'm showing his website, but maybe he'll be happy that I'm showing it. So he bought something called AI Wordsmith, and this is his website. Kevin, he's ahead of the curve. He's already built his website. He's up and running. He's chomping at the bit, hitting me up in Skype. Mike, I can't wait for this training. And he's somewhat, self-sufficient. So that's gonna, basically end the rant there. But I'm letting you know, folks, you haven't been billed. Not a single one of you has been billed for this. So with that said, this is the time to decide, because this is a lot of money. If $497 is going to break the bank, let's get out of this right now. Let's not. I'm happy if you pay it and you realize it a month later and you want to get your money back. No problem. No problem with any of that. We're expecting some people that aren't even on this call are going to say, hey, I didn't even realize I signed up for this. They're going to call us screaming, why did you take $497 out of our account? We understand some people are just not engaged. They tick that box. No problem. Our team is instructed, just everybody gets their money back. What we're looking for is a good 200 to 250 partners that we're going to build out over the next couple of years to well over 1,000 partners. And again, those people I'm looking for, I know the exact people I'm talking about. They're people with lists. They're people with marketing skills. They're people with technology skills. They're funnel hackers. They're people that are going to look at this as not as a cost. Instant 10x. Oh my God, I can send a tweet with this and I can get 10 users on this platform. In fact, I'm going to start making all of my training that I do on AI about my own tool. And the only hassles that we're going to be getting from them is please add this feature quicker. My users are asking for this. My users are asking for this. That's the user that we're looking for. So a little bit of tough love, here from, Papa Mike. I think it's just a fair thing for me to not disillusion anyone, that, the fact that you get the opportunity to have an AI platform that costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars to build for $497 a month. There are two people that are going to be looking at it. And I've been talking to all of these people on the marketers cruise, and this is the look that they give me when I have the right customer. Just take a step. They look at me, they go like this. Can I ask you a question? Why are you doing this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? They go, what's the catch? You're letting us keep all the money? And I'm like, yeah, because I was thinking about doing a JV with you, because I love what you're doing with Groove. So you're saying I can get my own domain and I can advertise this with my own Stripe and I can keep all the money. And if I put on 300 users and I'm making, a couple of $100,000, I don't have to share any of that with you. And then they look at me with pity. You're going to let me have all that money and all you want is $497 a month. I said, yeah. Do me a favor. Can we meet with my partner? This was on the Marketers Cruise over and over and over again. I made a slight little talk about it at the end of my keynote on AI. I was flooded at the back of the room. Everybody saying, there's internet on board right now. I can buy it. There's blah, blah. I said, yeah, absolutely. The type of person that I'm describing to you is many of you on this call right now. You're like, yeah, I've got some influence. I'm ready to go. I pity you that you're letting me keep all of the profits. And again, the person that is looking at this as a business opportunity and saying, hey, I applaud you, go for it, be willing to spend that $497, be willing to figure it out. But there will be nothing coming from Groove to, from our point of view, that's going to be, at the end of the day, we're just teaching marketing. Hey, here's how you attract people, make social media posts and everything. So decide right now, this shouldn't be a toy for you. This should be a return on investment. So, and when I say a toy, it's something that's cool to have. I want to have my own software company. Paying $500 a month, if that's easy for you and it just makes you feel happy, by all means, do it. But I'm just not going to be. I don't want to have anybody that's saying, hey, I've already paid you 4 months and I haven't had a single customer. Can you please do trainings? It's going to sound very, I don't want to sound mean. I'm going to honestly say, hey, you shouldn't have paid us a dime from the beginning. So make that decision right now. And so there's a lot of chatter in the Facebook groups. When I say a lot of chatter, we see them. They come to me. I cannot tell you how many times people say, delay the billing until Monday. Do we really need to delay the billing till Monday? It starts on Friday and the billings are going to be on Monday. I get it. It's just not going to happen. 10-minute rant is over on that, but that's the way it is. Let's move on. Just see if you guys got a couple more questions. I did want to spend today answering a lot of your questions. I know my team is answering a lot of your questions. I know my team has been getting a lot of questions in the Facebook group, and then they come to me, and my answer is I'm going to be doing a long Q&A for all the users on Thursday. So let's take the time to answer all your questions, and we'll keep moving on as well. So will they need the user to contact support for credits? No, it's just going to push up on the screen. So I think I rolled backwards here. We saw that one. I answered that one here. So as a SaaS agency, I will not be able to build custom apps for my end users. No, Don, I never said that. What you're actually going to be able to do, and this is going to be coming, so that don't, again, Don Schultz, perfect question. This is the type of questions that I want to see our white label owners pushing and quote unquote, Don, just forgive me, getting upset with me, right? That I said it would be ready in April and it's not ready until April 15th. And Don is saying, Mike, that's unfair. When you said April, I went out and I told my members. I get that, right? That's the type of stuff that I'm going to be pushing my developers, because I know Don has his 20, 30 customers and he's going out there and he has no ability to do the development, and he's going to take my word as gospel. That's the type of stuff that's going to be inside the Facebook group for white label owners, where the communication is going to be justified. Everybody has a right, quote unquote, to petition their government, so to speak, and say, hey, you promised us this, and I have users. And we have a huge responsibility to white label owners and their end users. So Don, let me tell you what the plan is for apps. You are going to be given a user interface that looks like this, pretty much just like this. You're going to click create app, right? You're going to give it a name. You're going to give it instructions just like you would a GPT. You'll be able to tick off any of these things, and then you're going to click save. And when you're done, you're going to have something that looks sort of like this. Share only with my users, right? Or you can actually even say something like share only with admin, and then it's only you that would have that. But I can't really imagine something. But who knows? You might even have a use case for your company that creates something that you don't even want your users to see. So it'll only show up in your white label account. Then you'll have a button here. Let's just say this is going to say only with my users, right? And then you're going to have one, and I'm thinking this out loud, but just bear with me. It'll say, publish this to the entire white label marketplace. And then there'll even be pricing options, because what we're looking to do is create something that will look like this. Imagine that you created apps like this and we sell them in the marketplace for other users to add to their own account, right? So that's more likely the way that it's going to be, is you'll have the ability to tell people that, hey, I'm creating it. So now, Don, what makes this different than, let's say, Kevin Strite, right? You can now compete with Kevin Strite because you're creating your own apps that you can showcase and say, we're the only platform that has these dedicated apps. Or you can be like, I think this is so cool, I'm going to publish it to everyone. They can find it, install it for free in the marketplace. Or you can attach a price tag to it and they will pay you, and we'll take our 30% cut. You'll keep 70%, traditional marketplace type of thing as well. That is something that, Don, we're planning on building. You'll be seeing that coming this year. But I can promise you this, at least until June, Don, at least until June, what we're going to be doing is Groove is going to be creating the apps, right? We have to build an apps marketplace. Very simple for us to create the user interface, where it's basically it's like creating a GPT. And then we create the publishing. Who gets to see it? And can you charge for it? And can people find it? And, that was in our original mind map that we said that we would have an apps marketplace. Absolutely, 100%, we're going to be doing that. In fact, Don, we're going to have one more thing, not just apps. The next thing that you're going to see underneath right here is something called workflows. Okay. And workflows means that we can create a bunch of GPTs that actually talk to each other. And I'm going to demonstrate that right now so that some of you can see the future that's coming to this application. So I want you to take a look at something called Autogen Studio. And I'm going to show you. This is AutoGen Studio right here. In fact, we've got time today, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a 15-minute video for you. I'm going to skip maybe 4 minutes of it, so it'll be 11 minutes. I want to show you the future. What you're about to see is going to look very, very techy, but it's for me. AutoGen Studio, if you notice, this is platform at OpenAI. It has like this beautiful integration that it's basically an interface that allows me to create the apps that I can get an assistant key, which is like a layer above an API key that I can build my apps with a drag and drop user interface. Well, Microsoft, who owns 49% of OpenAI, came out with something called AutoGen Studio. So let me just go off camera over here. I'm going to go to my history and I'm going to put this in the Safari browser. Bear with me a second. That's it. All right. And now I have to open this up in Safari. Let's get rid of the T equals 10 seconds. And Donna, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me?
We have a brand new version of
hear this?
autogen Studio that just
hear it.
dropped. It has new
Okay,
features,
great.
expanded functionality, and
So let's go full screen, and let me set the table for what you're about to see. And I'll put my face on here first. So I'm really excited about this for you guys, the white label owners, because when you see me get excited for something for Groove.ai, I'm no longer getting excited for Groove.ai. I'm getting excited for the white label. I'm also letting you know that, Groove is really there to support the white label owners. If we have just 1,000 of you, just 1,000, that's a 500,000 a month for Groove just in the white label. That would be, we'd be happy to have 1,000 of you guys on the white label and nothing more. We'll build it more than that over time. But in terms of, the revenue that would bring in, it's arguable that we could say, Groove.ai can just be a white label company. We don't necessarily have to go out and compete with you for 99 and 199 and 299 customers. Will we? Yeah, look, high level does the same thing, but we're not going to, it's not going to be our main focus. Our main focus is building this app as a white label for you. And hence, again, why I am so focused on finding the right partners, people that are going out and talking about how this is a game changer in their business and their training program. And they're begging us to add more features, not begging us to add more trainings because they can't find users. So what we're going to give you the 3 generations of chat. The first, or of AI, the first generation was ChatGPT. And when I spoke with you guys last time, I basically told you that ChatGPT is every genius at everything, all compiled into this Jack and the Beanstalk sleeping giant. And you've got a picture of this all knowledgeable giant. It's Albert Einstein, it's William Shakespeare, it's Mark Twain, it's it knows, it's the best lawyer. And I keep saying this. If it's not now, it will be in 6 months. They're already talking about GPT-5. What they're realizing is they're not just going to have this one large language model. They're going to have 1,000 minor language models that when you put a chat in, it's going to say, hey, let's go to, this sounds like a lawyer question. Let's send that to the lawyer GPT. And so these are some of the things that Mistral 7B and Mixtral 7X, which are these large language models that are pretty much as good as ChatGPT 4 that can run now on a local computer. So it's only going to just keep getting better. We're 1 year from the point where AI is going to be smarter than the smartest human at every single thing. And we're going to have the ability to tap into that. All right. But that AI is not the AI that humanity needs to worry about, right? Because this AI doesn't have consciousness. It doesn't, when the language model is not sent to anything, it's literally the sleeping giant. And that's what I mean. So when you knock on the door and that's the prompt, and you say, who is Ben Franklin? You hit enter. You wake up that sleeping giant. He sees the question. He's all knowledgeable. He gives you the answer, and he goes back to sleep. That's not what keeps Silicon Valley and world leaders up at night. What keeps Silicon Valley and the world leaders up at night is the autonomous agents. So the bots that I just showed you now, or the GPTs that you have access to that go into ChatGPT, we're calling that right now, let's just say the 35 apps, or the 30 apps that are in the platform. That's step 2. And when we get to step 3, that's where it gets scary, because what's good can also be used for bad. So step 2 is a new GPT, and I'll just share my screen here, and that's these things that we have. Right? These things is phase 2, we'll call it, right? And these GPTs, why are they different than ChatGPT? Well, these things are iterative, meaning that you could give them instructions, and they're not just, if you say act like a lawyer, the old school version of that was this, where you went and you gave it custom instructions. So if I said something like answer everything with a riddle, it couldn't break from that. You were tattooing that personality. So if you asked it a question, let's just give that for an example, right? Answer everything in a riddle and be rude. All right. So now if I tell it, who is Mike Filsaime? Oh, riddle you seek with the answer unique about a man. It's like, okay, stop being silly and rude. Please just tell me who he is. Oh, I broke it. That's interesting. Usually you can't break the system prompt. That's the first time I've actually seen it do that. It's supposed to answer everything in a riddle and be rude. So this didn't actually, and maybe they're changing some things in ChatGPT because maybe they found that it was too rigid with the system prompt. Let me change that so I don't have a problem in the future when I go to do something. But basically what I was trying to demonstrate there to you is that the old school system prompt, which is currently what we're using right here, all of this stuff right here is building this system prompt. So when we say act like this in the style of, it builds that system prompt, and we inject that into the prompt before you ask what makes a good funnel, right? So that's the old school way, the system prompt. This new school way of when you create a GPT, and we go into configure, this isn't a system prompt. This is more like we're telling it who it is. We're giving it, we're like creating our own language model. But by doing this, it's told that this is the end goal. So basically what we're going from is we're going from the difference, and put my face back on here. ChatGPT was task driven. These new GPTs that you see here are goal driven. So you say, the final thing that we want from all of this is a long form sales letter. So you're going to need this from a customer. You're going to need this. And then once you say, okay, run, it's going to say, okay, I need more information about your business. It doesn't go back to sleep. And then it'll ask you more information. How do you want this? Do you want, and it'll just keep asking all the instructions that were in this GPT. And then if it runs out of token, it'll say, that's part one. Would you like to continue? And it can now write books and long form sales letters. It can do all these different things. So now you're getting an agent, but it's not autonomous. The next thing that we're about to see is Microsoft's autogen. And autogen gives you the ability to do 4 things. It allows you to create agents, then a workflow on how they talk to each other. And then the agents have skills, and these agents can pull those skills off the shelf, so you can create a number of different skills. You can inject Zapier, connect it to your blog. You can write Python functions, and then have all of these things communicate with each other. So there's a TED Talk that I'm just going to look up here, and I want you to, let me see, TED Talk. Let's see, let's go to YouTube. TED Talk on autonomous agents, robots. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so there's been a lot of people talking about this recently, and I'm going to have to find it for you. But basically, bear with me just one second. I'm just going to go back into my history because I just literally just watched this just recently. And I'm just going to go, I'm doing this off camera. And I don't even know if I was sharing my screen anyway. Yeah, so I wasn't even sharing my screen. But don't worry, I'm just going to find this history. And then I'm going to search my history. Okay. Let's just put TED Talk. Found it. So let's grab this. TED Talk. Oh, it's the same guy here. Awesome. And let's put this into this browser here. And then you'll be able to look up this TED Talk. And I want you to see this. Your white label owners, I want you to understand, what's coming with
Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins. Listen, if you haven't heard about our Time to Rise Summit, it's coming up on Thursday. I only do
I'm
this
in my Safari
once a year,
browser, so I'm not
3 days
signed
in a
into my
row,
account,
just
so we have to
2.5
see the ads.
Earlier this year, I led the Voyager project.
Okay, so who is this guy? This is NVIDIA. He's Dr. Jim Fan. So you want to look up Dr. Jim Fan TED Talk. It's a short TED Talk, but basically the geeky stuff, right? And here's the most important thing in this TED Talk is that he's showing that these training tools that they did to show an agent on how to play Minecraft was absolutely incredible. And this was the learning curve. Then they did this new thing called Voyager with the skill library. And then this was the learning curve right here, the second one. What's the difference between the two of these? They both plateau. The third one, and this is revolutionary in science. We're literally getting very, very close to artificial and general intelligence. What's happening here is they're giving the AI the ability to learn something, and what's happening is it's an infinite growth of learning. Now, what NVIDIA just released, and why you're seeing that this is NVIDIA's new foundation, it comes with their new chip that they just released. They were allowed to do something that normally took about 1,000 days. They can now process in 3 minutes. So when they go in and they show something like this, and I'm not going to get into it, but they basically take random stick figures in all of these 100,000 different configurations, and then they could run that thing for like 1 million years, and they can basically turn that thing around and get it and get the data that used to take all these years to find the best way to do something. And then they can then take these robots like you see right here. Again, you're just going to see here, this is the old way that was good here at this way. The Voyager was good at this. They put the two of them together, and they're using something called, some of you gamers will know this, Unreal Engine. They can now create simulations in Unreal Engine that are virtually identical to reality. So what you're seeing, everything that you're seeing here is a simulation.
No two look the same. If an agent is able to master 10,000 simulations, then it may very well just generalize to our real physical world, which is simply the 10,001st reality. As we progress through this map, we will eventually get to the upper right corner, which is a single agent that generalizes across all 3 axes. And that is the foundation agent. And we train it by simply scaling it up massively.
So now you're asking yourself, wait a second, guys, I'm very confused. Why do they have a robot with wheels for hands? They deliberately created a robot that would be very difficult in the real world to train with the current things. And they ran it in a simulation for 3 hours. And what that robot was able to learn in 3 hours with very clunky, awkward hands can do things in the real world. So they deliberately made a difficult robot and showed that we could train this thing in 3 hours to do something that other robot companies have been trying to do for 5 years. So I'll wrap this part of it up. I definitely recommend you see this. What they're basically saying is that now we will now have, within a year's time, the ability for robots to do everything that humans can do. They will work the fields. They will climb onto the tractors. They can work 24 hours a day. They don't get suntans. They can now make you the cup of coffee. They can do everything. They show a little point in here where there's a hand that articulates with, it's in here. You get the point. So the point is, imagine, let me get back to my face here. Have I not? Thank you, Donna, for showing my face. If I wasn't, I apologize, guys. I sometimes forget to go to the video. So let's go to my face here. So now I'm about to show you a new framework that's going to allow us to get agents talking to each other. But here's what I want you to understand, right? Everybody keeps thinking that AI is, when you talk, D-Day or whatever they called it, they had a name for it in Terminator, right? I forget the name of it, but there was like that day, right? And we talk about AI being evil. AI is not evil, folks. AI is a system prompt. We're basically saying you're the lawyer, you're the this, you're the that. But if we can program these things to be anything, right? AI can be the best hacker, and AI can write code. And I said this a long, long time ago to you guys, that if you have AI that is now open sourced and it can be used for good or bad, the same thing, we wanted nuclear technology so that we could create unlimited energy. And as soon as you saw unlimited energy, people said, well, that sounds like what's a bomb? A bomb is energy. And we created a world with nuclear weapons. Why are there very few countries with nuclear weapons? Well, the guys with the nuclear weapons try to stop the other countries from the nuclear weapons from getting them. Fair or unfair. But when the bad guys try to get it, they need to do a couple of things. They need uranium, very difficult to get. The world knows that people are looking for uranium, what's needed to run these bombs. And then you have to test them. You have to build these things. You have to test them. And you have to see their capabilities. And then you kind of send up a warning flag that, hey, we're North Korea. We just tested a bomb, right? With AI, you're not going to have that situation. You're going to have evil people that want to do evil things, that have access to computers that can hack things. And so if you have a computer, an AI that's told to do something that is discrete and get into a system and go in and rewrite the code, well, we have something that says these 2 nuclear missiles can't go off until 2 of these people press this button. What if that was hacked and said, you don't need those 2 people. You can just go and rewrite the code into the system and get out, and not anybody knows, and you just start launching nuclear weapons. I'm giving some doomsday scenarios, but those are just some of the things that are scaring people. The other thing is, this gets into the Terminator situation. What happens if you have a world with 350 million robots all over the world that are doing something? And I'm going to ask you this question. You'll see where I'm going. Was the Terminator evil in the Terminator? And in the Terminator 2, was Arnold Schwarzenegger good? No. When you ask him, he says, hey, how come you're not here to kill me? It is my programming. I'm here to protect you. Right? And in the first Terminator, I'll be back. Like, he was on a mission. He was simply an AI. And when you actually listen to him, and he says, I am a neural network that is blah, blah, blah. Amazing that they saw this future in there in science fiction. But you have a world of robots created by humans. You create robots that can actually create robots, right? You're seeing this future coming. They're going to work the factories. They can write code. And so the robot that chased you in Terminator 1 was not evil. It was simply programmed. Act like the most menacing creature. Your job is to find John Connors and kill him. He had no remorse. He was given a prompt. And then they rewrote the prompt. Your job is to protect John Connors. Changes, protect him at all costs. He had no feelings. He didn't think. He wasn't evil. So imagine a world where all of these robots are out in the field and they get hacked, and their prompt changes from build this Tesla car to kill everybody in the factory. They don't suddenly turn evil. They're given a new job, and these things can walk around and do anything. And if you get 1,000 of them to start attacking people, you start seeing this. Again, I'm just giving you a couple of different scenarios. We had a little bit of fun here. I went off on a 25-minute tangent to try to get you to understand why the people in Silicon Valley are starting to worry, because they realize we are creating a world where if hackers get in and change the system, or if they just have access to the keys themselves, they can build these different things. So that's the fun with the doomsday. Let me show you how we're going to use this stuff for good. All right. So we're going to go back to this video here, and I'm going to just let it play out.
Know if a stock will be bullish or bearish the day before. The truth is, There actually is one way. Is your trading account suffering right now, but you're wondering?
All
we
right.
have a brand.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through the installation, and we're going to get right to where he's showing you the interface. Okay.
About it. If you go to the build tab, you'll see we have.
Okay. So I'm going to pause a few times. I'll take my picture out of this because we already have his, so we don't need that. And you see that there are skills, models tell what skill, what model to use. So this is also incredible. You don't need ChatGPT 4 turbo preview and all these different things to handle certain things. So when you create different skills and different agents, I should say different agents, you could say this agent can use ChatGPT 3.5, or even we can even import our own models like Llama 3 in the background for tasks that don't need to cost anybody anything because they're so cheap. By the way, Mistral is running pretty much as nearly as powerful as ChatGPT 4, and it's about 1/1000th the price. And it's so much smaller. It's really incredible what's happening. So this stuff's just going to keep getting cheaper. Let's see what he says here. Oh, as I said, there are skills. And skills are basically things like get a screenshot, transcribe this YouTube video. Right? Agents are people that we already know. They're GPTs. They're like, this is the lawyer, this is the FDA guy. And these are people that have specific roles. This is your team. And the workflow is how you tell them to talk to each other. So let's take a look at that.
New tabs over here. For one, we have this models tab. Now you can predefine different models to use with your agents, and you can mix and match as you want. You can have specific models tailored for specific agent use cases. It is brilliant. So here you can see we have GPT-4, GPT-4 preview, and the Bloke's Zephyr 7B alpha. If you wanted to add a new model, we'll go do that right there, but we don't need to do that. We're going to be using ChatGPT-4 today, and we're going to actually be using this preview version. The other thing that's new, and I'll get to it in a second, is the fact that you can have agent teams greater than just 2 agents. In the previous version, you could only have 2 agents, a sender and a receiver. Now you can have agent groups where you can group together multiple agents in addition to your user proxy. Now, I haven't tested this yet. I'm hoping it works, but if it doesn't, you're going to see it. So switch over to OpenAI. If you don't already have an account, go ahead and sign up. Come to the API keys section. We're going to create a new key.
All right, guys,
I'm
we're
going to
skip
call it
this.
autogen.
Right, we get all of this stuff here. Let's get back to right here, what he's done.
Come back to autogen studio. We're going to click on this model right here, and then we're going to enter our API key. I don't believe we need to do anything else for GPT-4. Everything else should stay the same because the ChatGPT API is the default. Then we'll hit enter. Model created successfully. Now, the first thing we want to do is create a skill. And the skill that I need created today is a function to go grab the transcript from a YouTube video. Now, how would I go about writing that? I'm actually going to use ChatGPT to write it for me. Now, just to make sure it is in the format that is similar to something I already know works, I clicked over to the skills tab. I'm looking at this fetch profile skill, clicking into it. And this is pretty similar where you pass in a URL and it goes and gets something. So this is probably what I'm going to want to do something similar to. So I'm going to go ahead.
So guys, yeah, a little techie, but just go with it. Basically, you don't have to worry about this. This is how we're going to be building these apps. All that you need to know is that we could create unlimited number of skills. Basically, anything that we used to, have to tell somebody to do, to go to this website, get a screenshot, whatever it may be here. And then the beautiful thing is you just write this into the skill that you go to, you fetch the text from a personal website. So a skill is go to this website and get the context. Get all the text off of a website, get the text off of this blog, or get the text off of every single page on this website, create a sitemap of this website, go to this YouTube video and get me the text, turn that text into a summary. These are all different skills. Anything that you can imagine that we currently do is a skill.
And copy it. I switched over to ChatGPT. I'm going to paste it in, and then under it, I'm going to say, here's an example script, make something similar to this, but instead make it accept a YouTube URL as a parameter. It goes and gets the transcript from the URL via the YouTube API, and then returns the transcript.
So basically, folks, what he already created a skill that you put in any website and it gets the text off of the website. Now he's taking that skill that he created and he's simply pasting it and simply telling ChatGPT, make me one like this, but instead of getting the text from a website, in this one, it's going to be a YouTube URL. So
yeah. Okay, so it looks like this method is going to accept a video URL. So that's right so far, giving me some documentation. That's fine. It's going to extract the video ID from the URL. That looks good. Okay, and it's going to use the Google API's YouTube API. So hopefully this works. We'll see. We might need to iterate on this if it doesn't work. I've seen another method written for this exact use case to go grab the transcript, and it was a little bit different from this. So I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, so this one says the YouTube data API requires an API key, which you can obtain from the Google Cloud Console. So this is different. I don't want to have to do that. Let's try again. Show me another way to do it that doesn't require an API key.
So spoiler alert, let's skip ahead. And he says, great, it found one that uses the YouTube API. So let's just
YouTube
keep going.
Transcript API, and hopefully it's able to do it just with that. And it says I need to install the YouTube Transcript API with pip, but I'm going to try it without that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the...
And spoiler alert, it wasn't needed when he runs it. So we're just going to move forward. I'll skip ahead a click or two.
Video. We're going to create a new skill. I'm going to call it fetch YouTube transcript. I'm going to take what's in here, which is a sample. I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to paste in what I just had. It has an example of how to use it at the bottom. I might as well leave that in. And then I'm going to hit OK. So that's done. So now we have our model and our skill created.
So guys, can you imagine that we have a skills library of hundreds of different skills? Will there be a point where we allow white label owners to actually create skills that can be used in these workflows? Who knows? Maybe that would be great. That but what I believe is I think there's just going to be an open source library of these skills that are just created that I'm just going to be grabbing 10 or 15 a week and just adding them in there. And then these models can then use these. You can see this one here is called generate images, for example, but let's just keep going.
Let's create an agent. We have our primary assistant and our user proxy, but I want to create an agent team. And the agents that I want are, one, I want an agent to go and get the YouTube transcript and remove the timestamps and then return it. The second agent I want is to take that text and then convert it into a blog post and into a Twitter thread. Let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to click new agent, the agent name. I'm going to call it transcript getter. For the description, takes a YouTube URL and gets the transcript from a video. I'm going to say max consecutive auto reply, just leave it as the default. Human input mode, never. And then the system message. This is where I believe we need to actually tell it which tool to use. You are an A.
So just so you see here, human input mode, if you say yes, that means it might say, hey, would you like me to proceed? He's just saying, no, be autonomous, do your own thing. And so here, this is where you say, act like a lawyer, right? Like you're just giving it the instructions the same way that I create those GPTs for you. You're basically saying, this is your role, this is what you're going to do.
AI agent that uses the fetch YouTube transcript skill to get a YouTube transcript for subsequent processing. We're going to be using this model. Now, if you wanted to add a different model, you do so right here. Now here for the skills, this is where we need to add our skill. So I go ahead and click plus. Here we go, fetch YouTube transcript. I'm going to go and say add skill, and there it is. Then I click OK. So now we have our transcript getter. Then let's create our second agent. And this one is going to be content.
And remember, these agents are just GPTs. These are the 30 apps that I've already created for you. They're just, different agents, and he's making his version of agents, and we can continue to make more agents that can do these different things. So right now he's just creating the GPTs. We haven't gotten to the workflow where they talk to each other and actually collaborate.
Writer takes raw YouTube video transcripts and converts it into blog posts and tweet threads. Max consecutive auto reply stays the same. Human input mode, never. Now for the system message, you are an insightful, intelligent, and witty content writer who is able to take raw YouTube video transcripts and turn them into blog posts and tweet threads. We do not need a skill for this guy, and we're going to leave the model the same as before. So now we have our two agents right there. Now, the last thing we need to do is create a workflow. So we'll click over to work.
All right, guys, this is what we've been waiting for. Over the years, over the last year, you heard of things like autogen, and they were trying to just do it with just ChatGPT, but it was talking to itself. It didn't know what to do. There was chat dev, something I showed you. This is built by Microsoft with the University of California, and it's an open source project, which means they built this user interface, which is something that we can now build on our server, exactly what you're seeing, and create a user interface to allow us and you to go in and create agents and workflows. Or and again, once you have an agent, you could reuse the agent, you could reuse the skill, and then you just create a workflow. And the same, that's instructions you would give a team. Hey guys, I want to have a company meeting. Yeah, what's up? We have a lot of YouTube videos on our blog. So what I'd like to do is I would like to turn those YouTube videos into blog posts, and I would like to have somebody tweet a summary of those blog posts out automatically on Twitter, right? So what we're doing right now is we're having a company meeting, and we're going to automate this. And here we go.
Flows. We're going to click new workflow. Now, this is something new. Previously, when you clicked workflow, it just automatically opened up and you can only have 2 agents. Now you can have 2 agents, and you can also do this thing called group chat. So we're going to use group chat because we're going to have 3 agents: the content writer, the YouTube scraper, and then the user proxy. So we're going to hit group chat. We're going to call this YT script to content workflow description. So we're going to say it takes a YouTube URL, gets the transcript of the video, and then creates a blog post and tweet thread from that transcript. Summary method we're going to leave as last, which is the default. The sender is going to be the user proxy, and then the receiver is going to be the group chat assistant. But we need to fill out the group chat assistant. So go ahead and click into it. Now we have 2 primary assistants here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete both of those, and we're going to add the content writer and the transcript getter. I'm going to keep it the same name. I'm going to leave the description default. And then for the system message, I'm going to be very descriptive. Okay, I'm being very explicit here. I actually don't know if you need to be that explicit in the system message, because typically a system message, you're just setting up the role. You're telling the agent who to behave as, not necessarily describing what you want them to do, which we will likely do again when we actually submit the prompt. You are a helpful assistant skilled at, okay, coordinating spelled wrong, coordinating a group of other assistants to solve a task. The task you will solve is taking a YouTube URL, having an agent use the fetch YouTube transcript skill to get the transcript from the YouTube video, pass that transcript to a content writer, and then having the content writer create a blog post and tweet thread based on that transcript. Now it's
okay. And now keep in mind, this is just a demo that he's showing you how this works. This can be made bigger, that says after the content writer writes it, you're going to create another agent that has access to your WordPress blog or your Groove blog through an API, and then says, and we'll post these blogs every Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern time, right? And then you can create another one that checks the analytics and gives you back a report in an email. So all of these things that you can imagine are now, we're going to be creating these little teams that are going to be doing this for us.
interesting. The group chat manager also can take a skill, and I don't think we need to give it a skill because the agent itself has the skill. We'll find out. And here's a bug that I've noticed. So if you remember, all
right, let's just skip that.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to get out of here and let's test it out. I hope it works. We're going to go to the playground. We're going to click new session, and we're going to select YT script to content and then hit create. So here we go. Take this YouTube URL.
And this is just like running a chat GPT. Like you're starting a new session the same way you start a session with the 30 GPTs. And this one has a particular thing, but he's giving it the instructions again.
URL, and I paste it in one of my YouTube videos. Use the fetch YouTube transcript skill to get the transcript from the YouTube video, remove the timestamps, if any, then create a blog post and tweet thread based on that transcript. Now, the one thing that's kind of difficult about autogen is it doesn't have explicit delegation options. I can't explicitly say this group chat agent should delegate to the content writer or the YouTube transcript getter. You can't do that. And I think
you can't do that yet. And that is definitely coming. Other YouTubers have spoken about this, and they said they've spoken with the people that are making this, and you're going to be able to have like this little drag and drag and drop workflow that says this person talks to this person, when done, go here. Right now, it's letting the proxy agent figure all this out, and it does a great job doing it. He wants the ability to explicitly say that it has to go to the grammar checker before it gets posted to the blog. Right now, ChatGPT 4 figures all that out on its own.
Have to be extra explicit in our descriptions to get it to work that way. All right, enough talk. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so he runs it. He gets the error 1 or 2 times. We're going to skip that. It just happened to be an API where he put it. And let's go back and let's run it again when he figured out the bug.
Then the API key one more time, and then we'll start it up. And let's refresh the page. And let's see if it worked that time. It did. Okay. So for some reason, going into a new tab made it so that it didn't actually see the API key, which is weird. So just keep that in mind if you run into that issue. Now we can tell it's working because we can see these 3 dots bouncing right there. So switching over to the terminal, I can actually see the code and the back and forth between the agents as it's going. So it is saying, yes, use the...
Again, nothing that you need to care about. But the beautiful thing about autogen is you can go in the back and you can actually see how it's going through the steps. As a user, you wouldn't care. You would just want the final output. What's nice about this as a developer is you can actually see it doing and it actually wrote this. To accomplish this task, we will follow these steps. So it's ChatGPT's thinking in the background. Number 1, fetch the YouTube transcript skill. Number 2, so it created the plan to do this, and he's going in the background to see if it did it right. And yes, it did. It did it right.
Fetch YouTube transcript skill, so that's good. And it does know to install the YouTube transcript API. Now, one thing to note is that in autogen, it doesn't actually show you the back and forth conversation. I do know that there's an open ticket to make it do that, so you don't have to look at the terminal while it's going. But here...
So what he just said is there is a way that you could turn it on and see it in the user interface, and you could see the conversation that they're having.
So there, it got the YouTube transcript. That's perfect. Okay, it's done. Look at that.
And there,
all right, so
let's go
YouTube
back.
Transcript. That's perfect. Okay, it's done.
And there you can see it's taken that it's taken a YouTube URL and it's written the first tweet, breaking news. It's putting some emojis. It wrote tweet number 2, tweet number 3, tweet number 4, and tweet number 5. So let's let him explain it.
And look at that. All right. So here it is. Let's take a look at what we got. So here's the code output. Okay. We got all that. That's great. Let's look at the actual agent messages. So the user proxy says, take this URL. So that's me.
And this is the agent messages. This is the log where you see the agents actually talking to each other and being very polite to each other. Sure, I'll be happy to do that for you. Here you are. And they hand things back and forth to each other.
Typing, take the URL, use the fetch YouTube transcript skill, get the transcript, remove the timestamps, create a blog post and a tweet thread. Then the transcript getter to the content writer is actually saying, to accomplish this task, we will follow these steps. So the transcript getter is actually planning out what we need to do. The transcript getter also installed everything we needed, writes a Python script to use that skill that we gave it. And then here it is. So here is the actual transcript from the video. And then interestingly, it didn't give us anything after that. So it didn't actually output it. Okay, so interesting. For some reason,
So he talks about that he was supposed to get a download for the outline in something called fetch, but he only saw it.
And then it
only saw it here. So remember, it was supposed to write a blog post. For some reason, it didn't give him the final output. He goes on to tell you, not a problem. I can simply tell it, give me the final output into a PDF or something. So he didn't give it final instructions where he wanted that blog post. So it didn't know where to put it. So he goes on to tell you that he can redo that again. But the bottom line is, you can see it wrote the blog post. Here it says blog, title, mark. Oh, isn't this crazy? I can actually highlight text in a video now. That's a nice new feature. Title, Mark Zuckerberg's vision for AI. So it basically took a YouTube video, turned it into a blog post, and wrote 5 tweets about it. And this is something that is a workflow that we are going to have the ability. Let me just move this over in case we need to play something again. We're going to have the ability in our app here for you to not just have these apps right here, but we're also going to have something called workflows. And these workflows are going to be not just, brand site architect, but these workflows, for instance, are going to be talking to like one might say, hey, I need to run the killer email copy to write the email for this. And I need the headline guy to write the headline. And all of these guys are going to be talking to each other. And there might be another app called Grammar Checker and another one called FTC Compliance to make sure that the copy written might not violate the FTC, and then it'll rewrite it and then finally give you a final output. Now, keep in mind, one of the things that we're going to be doing is taking this like brand site architect and funnel wizard expert and not just creating instructions. We're actually going to have it write the Groove pages code for the website. So we are currently, I don't think I'm logged into Groove, so let me just log in. I am logged in. So we are currently training Groove.ai on our drag and drop code. So some of the stuff that's in here in our editor is our own drag and drop framework that we created. So instead of telling it to create the output for everything in just text that tells you go do this, we're actually going to have it write this code. And then when we're done, you'll have a brand site architect workflow that'll actually give you a link that'll import your page with your images and everything right into Groove pages and into Figma and possibly Webflow. And who knows, if it's that simple for us to, we probably won't be able to do it for things like ClickFunnels and High Level because we don't have access to their JavaScript library. But with Webflow, we can do that, and we can do that with Figma. So you'll have the ability to literally the opportunities are absolutely endless for what we're going to be able to create with these workflows. So again, you'll see apps. These within the next month are no longer going to be native to ChatGPT. I'm no longer be working on ChatGPT. They'll be native to Groove.ai, and we will start developing workflows. And I have to tell you, folks, this is a vision that I had back in February of last year, 1 year ago, when we first announced Groove.ai. I don't even know if those pages are still up anymore, but if we go to MindMeister, and we load this up, let me log into my account. Maybe that's what's. So let's do a login. And all right, so here was the Groove.ai public backer project. It's amazing as I go back onto this and I look and I'm like, wow, we actually said we were going to create that, and we've created that. Tasks and workflows, but here's the one I want you to see right here. Autonomous agents, AI bots that keep working until goal is achieved, right? So that was here, and as you're seeing, we had the content creation, all these things that we've created. And as we go down, here we've got YouTube workflows. These we've already created. These are the GPTs. We've created GPTs for all of these things. Create books, we have long form copy generator, all of these press release, all of the. It's funny to see that we envisioned making this here. Website and funnel creation, right? Image and art is coming next quarter. Let's see, video, we get all of these beautiful things that are now available to us in open source. But one of them that I wanted to go down to, we created all of this, the projects, right? The ability to train it, right? Train a knowledge base. Frameworks, right? You would have frameworks for copywriting, storytelling, and you got all those in your drop downs. We wanted to do it on styles, and you pre-train styles for bloggers, for copywriters, direct response, trained by users. We now allow you to add your own custom things in there. what can you do, subject lines, all that stuff, how the UI was going to look. We basically said we would have a built-in editor. You guys have that editor there. So this is, this was something that I had to think out exactly, like, how is this going to work? And as we go down a little bit more, let me zoom out and show you down here. You see the marketplace that we spoke about, that we would have a marketplace for developers. And I thought at that time, we were going to have to build an SDK. I knew what we wanted. I knew that we were going to have to build this. And the beautiful thing is, this vision that I had in February of last year, I was hoping and praying that the AI companies would see these as necessary. And sure enough, they did. They created this for us, an entire playground that builds the assistants. Guys, we were going to have to write the code to build this. And then sure enough, I was like, yeah, I can imagine that there's going to be that. And they did it. But then I said, workflows are going to be something. And we were going to say, hey, if somebody doesn't come out with something. So we were looking at chat dev. We were looking at Groove.ai. And I was telling Artie and Matt, hey, there are these open source things on GitHub that we could build. And then sure enough, Microsoft creates something like platform.openai that I just showed you. That's called Autogen Studio. And the studio is basically something just like this, that when we're done, it gives us a little key. And then we can pull that right into our interface and have workflows. And we can design these user interfaces for you as white label owners to not only create apps, but also create workflows that can be exclusive for your app, your white label, or you can share it with others, make it free in the marketplace, or charge for it, or charge monthly, or charge one time, right? Hey, look, that's how marketplaces work. But so you're going to have the ability to differentiate your application from other white label owners and different than Groove.ai. There's nothing in our terms of service that says that if you create something, you have to give it to Groove as well to compete with you. So you'll actually, if you're good enough at this, right, you now have the ability to stay on top of this type of stuff or hire somebody. Look, this is what you call no code, right? A lot of this is no code development. So if you get guys that are really good at installing WordPress blogs, they can go and install these things, or basically anybody with the skill to create a GPT, right? Like that's this right here, where you go and you click My GPTs. Anybody that has the skill to say, I want you to be able to critique somebody's blog and tell them how they can make it better and create a GPT, well, then you'll have the skills to create your own apps and workflows. And if you don't, you could hire anybody that has skills to build a GPT, you could hire somebody for $100 to create a workflow for you by giving them team access to your account, and they'll log in and they'll be able to create those things. So pretty excited about that for you. Let me see. The chat has obviously blown up. I went on the 10-minute rant about, hey, we're not extending payments. Donna, I know that you're sick. I'm just curious if you were looking. Somebody says here, extend my license, excellent, already in development. Let's just go through, and I'll just start, coming through some of these questions. As I said to you guys, by the end of day tomorrow, and I have a super busy day tomorrow. If we look at my screen, like tomorrow, I have a 10:30, a 12, a 1:30, and a 3 o'clock call tomorrow. So I'm going to be really busy. So I'll be working on this stuff today. I'm going to be putting together the final terms document for you, where you will have everything. And when I say final, look, folks, the plans and pricing for $99, $199, and $299 will be subject to change going forward, not on a whim. It doesn't serve me any good to make your life crazy by changing the pricing. What I'm really saying is that there's going to be feedback from you guys as users. You're going to come back and tell me, hey, Mike, we're getting I'm just making this up, right? We're getting too many people complaining that the $199 plan doesn't give enough, or I think we should get rid of the $299 plan and just give everybody the 199, and then we'll talk with you guys as a community and give a vote and a survey. And when they say you have to change the Constitution, you need the 2/3 majority, or whatever that is. I should know, but I apologize if I don't. I believe it's a 2/3 majority or greater than 2/3 majority to amend the Constitution. I understand that. Just like in the United States, we have states' rights, and we have the Electoral College, and that was to give small states the ability. And even though you're New Hampshire and you're not California, you still get 2 senators. You get more people in Congress. You get the House of Representatives. You get people that represent your population. But the small states do get a lot of rights. They get 2 senators in the other side of the House, and you need the House to pass the bills. So smaller states got rights. So I'm going to understand something, folks. We're not going to be doing 51% majority rules. It might even be 80, or I'm going to use my gut and say, hey, I'm going to go with the community on this. And I'd like to get the changes out early and not late, not after 6 months, not after a year, right? And not changing every 90 days. But I do want you to know that coming forward, we might do a poll, and if 90% of you say, yeah, let's change this, we'll probably change this because you guys are giving us feedback that this price isn't working, or we're not giving enough credits, or the users want this, and we'll come together in ways that make it better. I'm going to outline the $99 plan for the number of team members and projects and all those different things for $199 and $299 in those first 30 days when we meet again. After you get your things installed, I'm going to be open. I have no stake in this. I need you guys to agree on what you want the pricing to be. And again, if you guys start finding out that people are complaining that the $299 plan is just too much, and you've got 30 users and not one of them took the new $299 plan, you might come back to me and say, Mike, let's just make this. I'm making this up, right? You might come back to me and say, we should only have a 99 and a 199. And I'll go to the community and say, hey, do you guys feel the same way? I'd like to keep the 299, but I'm okay with getting rid of it. We will have that discussion, right? I want you guys to get the feedback from your community. You may say to me, Mike, I'm willing to give more than $5 credit on the $99 plan. My users are going through their credits too quick. These apps and workflows are eating through credits. Okay. You want to give them more credits out of that? Great. We'll go from $5 to $10. That will be up to you, right? Who knows? Some of you may say, hey, can we have the ability to limit the number of credits per user? And then I'll build it in that you can give up to $10 or $15 in credits, and the other user only gives $5. And then you can compete on your $99 plan on how many words you give people. Some of you may not like that and say, no, I don't want to compete with other people. Keep it an even playing field. But these are discussions that I'm willing to have with you guys because I don't have a stake in this. I want you guys to be able to do this. You may come back to me and say, hey, some of our users want a $399 a month plan. Wherever. We'll figure that out together. Okay. I want you to know that. So you will get clarification from this when I release the sheet for you tomorrow or by latest 5 p.m. I'll likely be working on it all night up until midnight. On top of that, I'll be creating, the general terms of service, the stuff that you'll understand by a paragraph. And then, I'll have my attorney, my lawyer, create the ones that you and I won't read. And, it's a 32-page, terms of service, boilerplate stuff that, says that you can't do this and you can't do that. We may have to come to you one day and say, you have to ban this user, and you're going to say why. Or I'm going to ban the user for you, and I'm going to ban him from the entire account from ever coming back. And you'll say why. And we're going to find out that guy was trying to write adult porn content and uploading, bad videos. And remember, here's the problem that we face now, right? We're like an ISP for emailing. The entire platform is going to run on my API key. And if we get a warning or, God forbid, shut down, right? Trust me when I tell you, we've already discussed this. We're going to have several rotating API keys. But if all of the apps have to work with one account, we can't really have multiple accounts. So who has this problem? Everyone. Jasper, they all have this problem. My point to you is that if you hear that we got rid of your $2.99 a month customer, just deal with it, right? We're protecting the entire community. This guy or gal was being a bad boy, and they were, trying to figure out how to, write instructions on how to, maybe their views or anti-LGBTQ. And we don't want to police those things. But if OpenAI is telling us that this content that's coming out is violating our terms of service, they're going to look at us as if we're doing it. And we're going to act very quick and ban that user. And, when they start complaining to you, just understand we're not budging, right? I think you get that, right? Because I think you're basically saying, yes, Mike, please do that, because that's not going to be my user. That's going to be somebody else's user. And I don't want to have any problems with our service because we're not, policing these things. So you guys get it, right? So I'm excited to work on this document. I'll probably also be working on an install document that I'm going to be releasing for you as well. I'm getting with Artie on Saturday. He's walking me through the entire white label. I'm not going to be seeing the white label install for the first time on Tuesday, but I will be seeing it for the first time on Saturday, right? So on Saturday and Sunday, I will be creating a very generic, first time version of a screenshot. Step 1, get your domain. Step 2, log in, click here, arrow, put in your well, you probably won't need your Stripe key or anything like that, but you get the point. And again, remember, this is very important. Some of you are going to say, hey, Mike, I thought you said I didn't need my own API and the users don't need their own API. They do for the first 30 days. Unfortunately, when we started transposing these apps that you see on your screen, we realized they can't run off of your account. They have to be pre-built. And then once we realized this, we said, okay, we're going to have to control all of the APIs because we're going to get billed for the usage for all of this. And then we realized, it's probably just better this way for the end user and for you. You're not going to have to, in the future, worry about all the billings and all that stuff. So let's look at some more questions. And I do promise, be ready on Monday, for a long day, with Amanda. We will be building it. I will pause for you. Some of you may say, hey, I'm trying to do step 2. It didn't work for me like it did with Amanda. And then I'll have some techie people on my team, trying to figure out, maybe you're using GoDaddy and I'm showing Namecheap and you can't find it. But we're going to do the best we can. That will be the first training. And I promise you, between myself and other people on my team, once that training is done on Monday, we will probably be doing 2 a week for the next couple of weeks, because we understand that some of you, have different platforms that you're working on where you're hosting your name service. You're not all using GoDaddy and Namecheap. We're going to be there for every single one of you. But I would like to do a call with you after Monday, and I got a real busy schedule coming up, unfortunately, coming up. But I am going to make the time to get these hour calls a couple of times a week with you guys. If I got to do them at 9 a.m., we'll do them at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. But I want to get with you and get your feedback. Hey, not how is the installation process, but I want to get, we have this thing right here, that this is essentially what it's going to look like. You're going to see manage your white label. And then in the white label, you're going to have account and billing, where you'll put your credit card on file with us like you did with OpenAI. You'll be able to manage your members. You'll be able to do your branding. You'll set up your domain. You'll put in how people are going to contact you for support. We are still in the middle of building out the support desk for you. We're working on your videos, all those different things. We'll be getting you all of your links for your white labels. Let me just see here. Yeah, no, I wanted to get you the spreadsheet. Just bear with me just a second. Pink. Yeah, okay, never mind. We're gonna walk you through all of this. It's gonna be more complex on Monday and Tuesday, but the beautiful thing is by the time we get done Monday, most of you, if you show up or if you watch this video on the replay, it's going to be so detailed and granulated that like you're literally going to be able, like I'm going to go in with Amanda and build her pricing pages where we say users get this, and you'll be able to go back or just look over my shoulder, but you'll be able to see all of your members. Maybe this is blown up a little bit too big. You'll be able to adjust your branding, upload your logo, right? We'll give you all the sizing and everything that you need, but make sure that you have a logo that looks something like this, okay? All right, those are very similar dimensions. I don't know exactly what that is, but you know, if I were to say it's looking like something like 150 by, let's see, what is, if we go to 50, it's a little bit big. I'd say 150 by 40 pixels is probably, you know, 150 by 40, 150 horizontal, 40 pixels tall is probably how you're going to want to get your logo designed, right? You'll have to figure that out. We'll try to do what we can, you know, to help you with that. You know, how to design a logo. But look, you know, you can go to companies like Groove.ai and they'll do that for you. After you set up your domain, we're going to show you how you get your app up and running. It's literally going to be at your username. So if you're Kevin Strite, it's going to be at kstrite.backendapp.com. And you're like, but I don't want my users seeing that. We're going to be like, great. Now we're going to show you the next step, how you're going to connect that to app. And I forget what Kevin's was called. Let's take a look. Let's go back to Kevin one more time. Kevin's is called AI Wordsmith. So Kevin's pages that look like this, oops. Kevin's pages that look like this, well, he already has it, I believe. He already has it. So Kevin's pages are going to be here at Groove. I mean, you know, hosted on Groove. But then when people click that login button, they're going to log in at app.aiwordsmith.ai. And it's not going to load now, but, you know, I can promise you that on Monday it will be. And then his login page will look very similar to this. And it'll have Kevin's logo. And it'll, you know, have his information. It'll say app there, and the people will sign in. A couple of other things I want you guys to know. You guys can let me know if you don't want this, but I think that it's going to be good to help you not get cancellations. Anybody that could log into anybody's white label can log into everybody's white label. Now, some of you may say, well, no, that's not fair because I didn't get the money and I'm going to be producing different apps. I'll have a conversation with you about that. If you want to block people out, then do that. The reason why I recommend we don't get caught in the weeds with that, guys, is trust me when I tell you, is that we have this ability, and I don't want to make this complicated. We have this share feature right here, right? And this is being upgraded to be a lot easier. It's going to work more like a Google Doc. People won't have to first sign up. They'll just be sent an invitation. But the ability for people to have a shared account and then go in here and click on projects shared with me, and then see that they've been shared through Groove.ai and multiple people. It's just going to make it's like we're going to have to get rid of that share feature if we don't allow people to be able to use it cross application. And the beautiful thing is, just trust me when I tell you, it's going to be better that way. We can probably do this, okay? We can probably make it that the apps that you create will only show to your native customers that paid you. But other than that, the app is essentially the same, you know, and they're always going to be using the tokens of their parents, not you. You won't pay for other people's tokens. So we've got all that figured out. Just trust me, we're just making it very, very simple for when people create a free account. It's kind of like a global account that they could get invited to any project. We don't want people to have to create 30 different accounts. We never want to tell somebody, sorry, that email exists. And they're going to be like, why? Well, that's crazy. I don't have an account with this guy. Yeah, we'll just let that user come in. And if they're shared a project cross-platform, then they're shared a project across platform. We will keep your apps separate. All right. And let's see. We were also talking about, the support. Like I said, we're building something that's going to, the support is going to be done with videos that we're going to create, an article help desk that we're going to create, and an AI widget that we're going to create that trains it on all of this information. And then after that, the user will go into to your portal, and they're going to click help, and they're going to see things like tutorial videos. Then they're going to see article help desk, and then they'll have a support. And then we're going to ask you to fill out right here, how do users get support from you? And you're going to have to get in the support business. That's what happens when you collect $299 a month from a user. You're going to have to be able to tell the user, go to the help desk article, find the information for them, and send them the link, or help them out yourself, right? And look, you're getting in the support game. You're going to get people that are going to say, I want the app to do this. And you're going to say, it doesn't do that. I'll request that feature. And you're going to come to us and ask us, hey, when can we get that feature? And I'm going to say, hey, it's a good idea. Might take about 6 months. And you'll go back to tell the user, and they're going to say, well, if you don't build it for me today, I'm going to cancel. Right? That's what happens in the white label business. You have no control over what you can develop. You can request those features from us, and as white label owners in the communities, you can come at us with your pitchforks and demand and say, make this feature before this feature. Nobody cares about this. We're going to have to say, okay, look, looks like you guys really want us to move that forward. Hey, no skin off our back. That makes sense. We understand where you guys are going to be coming from, as white label owners, and we want to be there for you. And we understand that you're going to be relying on us for that. So I really look forward to having that, that document done for you in the next 48 hours and getting that. We will probably go over that document, before we build Amanda's site on Monday. And we'll probably start with that document because it's going to have step 1, step 2. Here are the terms, just so you know. Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I do apologize. I said Monday a few times. It's Tuesday from, I put 2 to 3. Just everybody put down 2 to 6 p.m. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. We're going to need it. I don't want it to be to 6. If I can get it done from 2 to 4, we'll get it done from 2 to 4. I just know that, hey, Mike, go back. Could you show that again? And I want to do it fast. You guys will slow me down, rightfully so. And you guys will have questions. And, so let me go through some of these questions here. There's a lot of questions. Obviously, I'm just going to have to go through them because I wanted to make sure that we get all of your questions answered. Let's see here. So, how much of advanced tech support can be done by Groove, or must we handle all tech issues ourselves? I'm not exactly sure what that question means, but no tech support will be done by Groove. All tech support done by Groove is to the white label owners. We will probably create, a separate department at our current help desk, for white label owners, to deal with us. Or I would venture to say very heavily in this Groove.ai white label only owners Facebook group, where it's probably best you communicate with us in there and create threads, and everybody's learning. And my team and the developers and Artie, we're going to have to allocate some 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, correct? My team will be working with you guys, and be prepared to not get answers that you like, right? Like that's just the way it is. I'm not trying to make a cop out. I want to make sure that we handle everything with you. You might report a bug or whatever the case is. And you'll take what we tell you and you go back and tell your users, but we will not be giving, have 600 different users, each having your individual help desk, and then you asking us to put one of our team members into your help desk. We just can't do that, right? So it's very important that you become very familiar with how the app works. Most of this, we don't get a lot of support issues with Groove.ai. We get a lot of, I can't get my API to work. So all that stuff is going to be going away because we'll be taking care of, most of that stuff for you. The Pinecone databases.
That's a really important point, Mike, is that we're removing a lot of the tech elements that currently exist in Groove.ai so that there won't be much need for tech support. There'll be support like accounts, hold my account, pause billing, that kind of thing. But technical support won't really be needed with Groove.ai.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just realized Groove Tutorials is Kevin Strite, I believe, because he said, Mike, you may want to point out that my site is just one of your templates tweaked for my own brand. Yeah, I don't have those templates in front of me, Donna. Maybe if you can just Skype me the the templates, but the users have that information. Donna saying here, yes, Donna, I'll get you the links to these documents and everything. So I'll be working on that today. Donna is going to distribute the documents out to everybody, including this document will have all of your templates where you can get all the templates, all that good stuff. Donna, Lucius has a new template that's been added. So that's this one. There's a pricing page, an about us page, even an apps page with this new template. So I'll just share this document with you right now. I guess he did already. So I'll copy the link and get it over to you. Okay, let's go through some of those questions. This one says, okay, sounds good, Donna. Okay, clarified. OpenAI just released today the coolest couple. Love you guys, Pat, Lorna, the coolest couple on the planet. OpenAI just released today new ways to understand API usage and manage API keys for developers. That's really good because one of the things that they don't do is they only manage tokens, but they don't manage $signs. So we don't have the ability. We have to create our own converter. We can't simply say when the billing reaches $5, do this. We have to convert all of these image tokens and all of these fuzzy math things to equate number of tokens to dollars, and every pricing model is different. So I don't know what that is, coolest couple, but I'm going to just go to OpenAI blog and let's see what they have today. New betting models and API updates. That is literally today. What's this? I didn't read this one. Democratic inputs to AI grants. Nobody cares. Okay. So let's see. We're launching a new generation of embedding models. New GPT-4. Oh my God. Oh, please, 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 please on this one. Let's get rid of that so it doesn't annoy you. Please tell me that they've added, you see what we don't have currently, guys, with ChatGPT-4, we don't have the ability to say, make me an image of blah, blah, blah. We have to have a separate DALL-E integration. And so I'm hoping that they've just added DALL-E. We'll find out. And we also don't have the ability to upload the files and have GPT vision in the multimodal. So I don't know that they've done that. I'm just kind of getting a little excited because they said new ChatGPT-4 model and moderation models. Moderation is good. That might allow us as developers to put moderation before it goes into you, right? Which is something, if we have to build it first, I really don't want to build something that's looking for the word porn and curse words and all of those things. But if I have to build it in before it goes to OpenAI, because when OpenAI comes back and they see that somebody is just keep spamming the F word and the N word and these horrible things into there, it could be bad for us. So we might have to, Donna, if you can just remind me to get that to Artie, we might need to put our own filter in before we send things to OpenAI. I think it would be good. New API usage management tools and soon lower pricing on their legacy model. So let's see what they're saying. That means read documentation. I don't really care about that. I'd rather just continue to read the blog post here. New embedding models with lower pricing. We're introducing 2 new embedding models, a smaller yet highly effective text embedding 3-wall model and larger, more powerful text embedding 3 model. All embeddings is a sequence of numbers that represent concepts. Okay, so I'm seeing here, I saw images. So there's gonna be videos on this. So I'll find out what that is here. A new small text embedding model. I'll probably put all of this into ChatGPT and say, summarize it for me like let's just actually do that. 15-year-old really gets most of that junk out of there that we need. So this will make more sense for all of us. So let's get my picture out of there. Oh, I don't think I'm blocking you, so that's good. All right. OpenAI has announced a range of exciting updates in their latest blog post. They're introducing new embeddings models and updated ChatGPT-4 Turbo, a moderation models alongside new API usage, etc. The new embedding models includes a smaller, more efficient text embedding 3 model. This still seems complicated. OpenAI has introduced a technique allowing developers to adjust the size of embeddings into the new models. Besides embedding models, OpenAI is also reducing their pricing, which is good. I'll look into that later. So that's good. Let me just see, does it say anything about adding multimodal to OpenAI GPT-4-preview or any new GPT-4 that allows you to use things like DALL-E and Vision all in one model, like you can hear with Chat GPT Plus. This will just answer the question for us right here. All right, let's see. The blog post does mention plans for launching a GPT-4 Turbo version with Vision capabilities in the coming months. All right, so we're still a little bit behind on being able to do, what I can just drag an image right into here and say, what is this? And so right now we can do that, and we can do the images, which is coming, but we had to work on the white label. We just have to do it separate, like having something called DALL-E. And then we have to build a chat that only does the images. And what's nice about the ChatGPT Plus is they've built the images and the vision into it. Now, we currently have code interpreter built in. They give us a multimodal. They just didn't give us vision and image. So let's see. This development suggests a move towards a multimodal. This is what I'm waiting for, guys. Again, I can go out and develop this, but then I've got to scrap my code and just do theirs. And so I'm just hoping that they get this out to us, by March, and then we'll literally just have it right here, right? It'll just work right here. So we have to go and develop it. And I'd rather focus on other development things for you guys that will be evergreen than work on something that we only need for 2 months and then ChatGPT does it for us. So that's why, I'm staying on top of this. This development suggests multimodal, right? AI, where both text and visual inputs can be processed and interacted simultaneously. However, specific details about the features or the exact nature of the integration were not provided in the post. This upcoming version of GPT-4 Turbo with Vision represents a significant step towards, okay. So let me just ask this one last question. What is the main thing devs What's the main thing the devs can do with this new GPT-4 release that they cannot do now or that it can make easier? So this new ChatGPT-4 Turbo model offers several new enhancements. So this is getting down to brass tacks. So number one, it increases the context size window again, which is friggin' fantastic. So I don't know if they're saying that they're going past 125,000 tokens. Guys, we're getting to the point that we're no longer going to need knowledge bases anymore, or knowledge bases will serve a completely different function. That 90% of the tasks, and most of the tasks that I need a knowledge base for, can now be done through a context window. And then I'm done. I don't need to create a knowledge base for something I just needed to have a conversation with the chat about. Knowledge bases are going to be relegated to doing things like creating chatbots that handle support desks, where you need to run, add 1 million tokens. Improved accuracy and performance. So the new model is designed to offer higher accuracy. Great, it's better, especially in tasks like code generation. Okay, great. reduction of laziness. All right, let's see what that means. This new model, which means you're just going to be getting better content for you and your users, addresses the issue of laziness, where previous models might not have completed a task thoroughly. And that sometimes you would just end and you'd have to say continue, or it just didn't want to do it as long as you see, like you wanted long output and it just, was lazy. This improvement ensures that more consistent and complete responses, enhancing the readability of the model for various applications. Great. Enhanced multilingual support. So this is great. This means that when we're doing, choose your language here, that it's just going to give better output. I cannot tell you how good the output is in another language, but we just found out that it's going to be better. Cost efficiency with the reduction in pricing for GPT models. Developers can now access advanced AI capability. So let's just ask this. And then they hint at vision. And the fact that they mentioned it in this blog post, and I didn't find it in one of their forums, the fact that they're actually mentioning in their blog post that they're going to be adding Vision and DALL-E into it means that it's coming probably by the, in my opinion, before the end of March. So, we're less than 60 days out, or about 60 days out. So let's just see here. I just want to see. You said, does this mean GPT-4 is cheaper or just 3.5 models? The blog post specifically mentions a reduction in the pricing for a GPT-5 3.5 turbo model, but not for GPT-4. This reduction for look, so folks, why did I want to see this, right? GPT-4 will always go down. Here's the problem. When GPT-4 goes down, GPT-5 is going to come out, and your users are going to want to see GPT-5 in the drop down, and they're going to use GPT-5, and it'll probably cost more than GPT-4. So their $25 in credits that they get from you are going to give them even less. And we're going to have to start encouraging people to use these models, and we're going to be giving them, we're building it into the app, little warnings like, hey, you've already gone through half your tokens. We suggest you change model down to 3.5 turbo, et cetera, because they'll still be able to use different turbo models. Why? They want to be able to save on tokens. And if your users using ChatGPT 3.5, it's going to be nearly impossible for them to go through 25 tokens. So we're going to be warning them a lot, to do that as well. So thank you, coolest couple on the planet, for letting us know that. Let's go back and see here.
Hey, Mike, I have a question for my own clarity's sake.
That was loud. It scared me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
All of our users will be able to install their version on Monday, right? They can either work along with us or using the replay, which we will timestamp and give very specific instructions. They'll be able to do this. So everyone will have access Monday. Is that correct?
Everyone
Tuesday,
on Monday.
Sorry, now I'm doing it.
On Tuesday, yes, sorry. Tuesday, guys, men in black, look at the camera. Boop, forget everything we said. Tuesday, 2 p.m. Every single user will be able to log into their Groove.ai account that they currently have, and they will see the white label here by that time or sooner. Now, some of you may see it tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday and try to build it and get ahead and be able to do it. Some of you will get 90% done. Just wait till Tuesday. We'll help you complete it. Please don't go in the Facebook group and say, hey, I got access today. You can say that, but don't say, I got stuck at this part right here. Is there anybody that can help me? Just wait till Tuesday, please. And again, please don't say then extend my billing till Tuesday, right? We don't want to see me go down that rabbit hole again, right? Let's just see if a couple of new questions came in. Will we be able to see if they have used all of their free usage? Yes, your users, maybe not on Tuesday, but we're going to have a little monitoring per user, how much they've used, et cetera, et cetera. Could you address the data security concerns? Is data more secure in the Groove environment compared to ChatGPT, even when ChatGPT has an option not to share with others? If yes, how is this achieved? All of your data is held at OpenAI. All of this data that you see right here This data is all held at OpenAI. This data is held on our servers. Our servers are secure. That's pretty much all I can tell you there. We're not holding on to anybody's personal data. Obviously, we'll have your users' personal data, but all of that stuff is, encrypted, with the latest technology. We're using, things right out of Python Django, for user authentication. Our servers never have access to any of the passwords or anything like that, and neither will you. Here's the corrected sentence for clarity. Will Groove provide a list of commonly asked questions? Yes, we'll be putting an FAQ together, similar to the ones that we have, for Groove AI. We'll, Donna, if you're taking a note, let's, get an FAQ that will also be part of the help. I understand you guys concerned. You don't want to get into the support game. Welcome to SaaS, right? But what you're really asking is, we don't mind doing support. We just need to know the answers, right? And if we don't know the answers, we need to know how to find them. We're with you 100% on that. 1,000% on that. We understand that the ability for you to offer incredible support will show up in reviews for your product and not getting you cancellations and refunds. So, we've got a lot of work there to do with you. All right, let's see. How much advanced tech support can be done? I think we did that one. Let's see here. On our lifetime user account, how much monthly credit will we get for ChatGPT API? Also, what about other platforms? Okay, that's a great point. For the lifetime users, what we're going to be doing for lifetime users is we'll probably be moving, and I'm not making this up, I already spoke to Artie about this. We're probably going to be moving to the ability for you, when you use these apps, you'll be buying $25 rollover credit packs at wholesale pricing. So you will just simply pay 25 bucks, and then you're going to pay the exact pricing we pay to OpenAI, and then you could re-up it for 25 bucks every time. And likely, guys, what we're going to be doing is I'll probably talk with the lifetime users. If you guys just like, hey, make my life easier, Mike, just put all the APIs in and just charge us wholesale, because that's what we promise you. You'll always play wholesale. We could do it where you just pay the option to do the rollover credit. And if we add other APIs, which we're not looking to do that. Like the things that are being open sourced by like Stable Diffusion, there's really cool things that I want to bring into the app. Like I'll show you this right here. Clip drop. Now this is free because it's from, but they also have some pricing, right? So Clip drop is Stable Diffusion, right? Has this new thing. So check this out, guys. Stable Diffusion XL. What is this? Real time. And let me look at that right above Secret Magic Store, so I know where to find my next question. Real time prompt image generation. When I say real time, a cat. Let me just see here. Let me click. Is this the right one? SDXL Turbo. Okay, watch this. A cat with a hat on the moon eating cheese in the style of Van Gogh. If I spelled that right, I don't know if that's how you spelled Van Gogh. That's not, right?
VOGH.
VOGH. Thank you. Vince Van Gogh, right? So there it is in the style of Van Gogh. So folks, you can go to Clip Drop right now. And then when you go to Clip Drop, you'll see that they have pricing, right? Because they have free, right? And then they have like, they're adding a watermark and different things like that. But they have like these, all these free tools. And so let me just go back to this model here. And you can just keep going in the style of Peanuts. Cartoon with in the style of Snoopy. Yeah, see that? Guys, this is real-time image generation. Nowhere near the quality of ChatGPT, of DALL-E, but it's really good for prototyping. Many times you go to DALL-E and you're like, no, I don't like that. Maybe I should have done this. What's really nice about this is you can take a prompt image that you have and just put it in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write this separately right here. So let's just say a man and his son in Central Park. The son is holding balloons at dusk. The father is sad. The kid is happy. And let's just see this. People playing bass. Now let's not make it too complicated. Let's just put it like that. So the nice thing is I can just prototype this and just go like that and instantly get the image, right? And now I can say in Doodle, right? And I can start playing around with this and see they both face the camera, right? So what I'm doing right now is I'm prototyping a lot faster. So you can see the images aren't that great. Like they're really not even usable. And I would have to, but I can at least get this cartoon, right? So I can start prototyping and seeing if I like the look and feel of something instead of having to wait 90 seconds for an image to get there. Once I dial in, I say, okay, this is what I want. Then I could go to DALL-E and do this. The reason why I'm showing you this is when you click edit, right? So guys, look at this. You have remove background, clean imperfections, relight, upscale, reimagine, uncrop, replace background, sky replace, swap people. If we just go back to this, and I'm going to show you why I'm really excited about this in just in a second. This, if I click relight, you simply drag an image in, you could relight it. It has, I don't know, what is stable doodle? Transform your doodles into real images. Okay, so never even saw this one before, but let's see. Generate. And I can prompt, okay. Girl with blonde hair, looking at camera. So you can almost like prototype, you know, how you want it to look. It should give me a full body and a girl in a dress. I'm just, you know, curious. Oh, that's horrible. That one is horrible. There's actually like the stick figure is like over her. So not perfect, right? These things aren't, it's putting the stick figure over the girl. Not the best example. They have text remover, reimagine Excel, replace background image, but there's some other ones too that, let me see, all AI tools. Oh, okay. Even better way to look at it. Like swap people, you could put in and it'll swap any face with any image. So why am I showing you this, guys? Well, they have this is open source. I can literally put this into Groove.ai and you'll basically have like image generation and I'll build a user interface like this. And this is built by stability.ai. This is all open source. Or what they do is they also have an API and I don't have to install it. And I could tell you to get your own API key here and you can use your API, or we can just build it in and tell you that, hey, pay $25 and it goes across the entire app. I don't want to blow up the chat here. I really don't. But I would like to do a survey for the white label owners and ask, where do you want to go? Because let's say there's 7 different API keys and I start adding Google and all these different things and Anthropic and start using them from different things. Would you prefer that you just buy these things at wholesale from me, from Groove, and not have to put an API key, and we just start adding these things, and then you buy all of these things at wholesale pricing? I'm just curious. I'm going to do whatever you guys want. Maybe you guys want the choice. You want to be able to put your API or just say, screw it. Give me a one-time $25 charge, and as it eats it, I'll pay again. Because if you don't pay me, you're going to pay these people. You're going to have to put a credit card on file with all these different companies. So, that's the thing with AI, is we don't know where all of these things are going just yet. Like, are we going to?
I want to give my vote.
Yeah, what?
I give my vote on that, my perspective on it. Now, granted, I am an owner of Groove, but we're talking about wholesale pricing, so it's not like Groove is going to profit off of these transactions. I would rather get my credits through Groove, because if I get my credits through Groove, then it's one billing and I won't have to have 7 different things and remember, oh, I have $45 in credit in this service that I've never used and I'll never use again because I only needed it for that one thing. That saves me all of that hassle. So I would prefer the through Groove.
Yeah, and your credit card, expired on this service, and you're saying to us, why am I getting this error? Exactly, all that stuff, and so it might just be easier. I think everybody, and folks, you're our backers. I can promise you, I'm not looking to make $5 on your, $25. Especially you guys are white label users as well. We're just going to do it at wholesale pricing. We just don't want to lose money on it. But yeah, if we can do it that way, it's going to be easier, because there's a lot of these different things, guys, that I can show you. That there's beautiful open, beautiful platforms out there, and then they all give you an API if you don't want to install it. That we can, they just give me a user interface I can plug and play into the app. And of course, I can't wait to get on all of this stuff as well. By the way, we just got permission to hire 2 more developers for Groove.ai. Because we know that we're going to be continuing to develop for the white label, and we don't want to slow down any features. So we might have some dedicated guys just for the white label, at least for the next 3 to 6 months. Hopefully we don't need more than 30 days, but you guys might be asking us for features, and that is going to slow down us getting in DALL-E 3 and all these other things. But we're going to knock off this white label part and then get back to developing the app. But, I think that only makes you happy. It makes, obviously, the other users of the app not happy that they had to wait 60 days while we built out the white label user interface. But we have to, we have to get you guys up and running. So, yeah. So that's some pretty cool stuff, guys, that, there is, I'm watching Anthropic. I really don't see the use for it. They're just, if they're ever better than Google, they're better for a day. I mean, OpenAI. I love that Microsoft is working with OpenAI with this autogen. And one of the things I didn't even tell you is we can connect autogen where you use an agent. We can also connect it to an existing agent that we have at OpenAI. So we don't have to rebuild our agents on Autogen Studio. Yeah, let's go back to some questions here. I think next was here. We saw that one. Let's see. QQQ. When are we getting billed? When will we be able to access the white label backend? Approximately. Welcome to the show, Facebook user. You will be billed as per your agreement when you signed up. You signed up, and we gave some of you a 90-day start. That started on February 16th. And then some of you went after that. Some of you went after the 25th. Some of you will get billed. You'll have to go back and look at your billing. But it's when we said. The only thing that we did is if you were billed on the 16th, we extended that billing until the 26th. So for some of you, 1/3 of that month was pushed ahead. Not everybody gets billed on the 26th. Some of you are going to be like, hey, how come I didn't get billed, but I got access? Well, you're getting access on between Friday and Tuesday morning. We're going to show you how to install it on Tuesday. And if you're supposed to be billed on February 9th, you'll get billed February 9th. If you're supposed to get billed on February 15th, you'll get billed February 15th. Some of you went to Groove.ai today and signed up for a white label, because Groove.ai is currently not selling Groove.ai. It's only selling the white label. And as you can see, we got rid of the the free for 30 days. You keep 100% of the profits. If you want to get started today, you get billed today. If you want to start Tuesday, you get billed Tuesday. But if it's not clear yet, Facebook user, because we don't have your name, when will we be able to get access to the white label? Starting tomorrow, we're rolling it out between tomorrow and Tuesday. You guys will start seeing, some of you will just log into your account. And you're going to see right here, it says white label option. And on Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to install it. I guess this here, yes, protect the community was when I said, hey, you know, we're going to have to put in filters to make sure that nobody is trying to look. I don't write the rules of Silicon Valley, right? You know, Groove is not going to be the arbiters of free speech. I wrote a Facebook post about this 2 years ago for Groove.cm. We are going to do what it takes for us to protect our hosting account with Cloudflare, and we're going to do what it takes for us to keep our merchant accounts up and running, and we're going to do what we can to make sure that we don't have problems with OpenAI. So will we be the arbiters of truth for what you post on your blog and what content you do? Look, you can pretty much say we're going to have the same types of rules as the social media companies, more like Twitter, you know, no hate speech, all that stuff, right? That is freedom of speech in the United States. You're allowed to say that you hate someone. You just can't incite violence. Social media companies bring it down a little bit. They're like, no hate speech. And what constitutes hate speech? And all those different things. And somebody might say, hey, I'm a Christian and I don't believe in these views in this community and all those different things. I'm going to put a blindfold on, you know, to that. I'm not looking to get involved in what is determined hateful by another. But I will say this: if we have a problem with Stripe or with PayPal or with OpenAI and they don't like it, we're going to let you know that they don't like it and you can't do it. And if you say to us, isn't it a free country with free speech? Yeah. Welcome to the real world with Silicon Valley, right? But we hope that you guys are using this to spread, you know, positive news, and we just don't want to get involved in that stuff. Can't wait until the 30th. Either can we, man. I'm excited about this stuff for you, Michael. With greater advances in the future, why would you reduce the price? Okay. We will work with the community, guys. Let's put it this way. We're going to come to you and say, hey, OpenAI just lowered their pricing yet again. Do you want to offer more words to your users? Or do you want to keep the pricing the same and keep more of the profit? And we're going to see what you guys say. And if the users aren't complaining, then let's just keep the profit. If the users are complaining or other competitors are starting to lower their pricing, you as a community will decide. I don't care. If you say no, now instead of giving them 125,000 words, give them 600,000 words. I'll say, okay, great. That means they're going to pay less $25 packs to you and me. I'm cool with that. The less they're going to complain to you that their $99 a month isn't going that far, I'm with you. You tell me what to do, and we're going to build it that way. You guys will vote, okay? Again, we're going to try to keep this as a constitution, right? When we do surveys, it should at least be 2/3 of the vote to change something. You know, I don't know that a majority should win at 51%, you know, because a lot of you guys might, you know, like the way that things are done. So, you know, we'll do it like that, right? All right, next question is, can I get insurance for a potential shutdown on the platform? No, you can't. What do you want me to do? Get you a letter from OpenAI? There's nothing that I can do. This is the fear of running a SaaS company. You are held to the whims of other people. But I will tell you this: these things keep us up at night as well. I encourage you. All right, remember I said there's some internal things in my document I didn't want you guys to see? Take a look at this. Right here at the bottom of this one. For me and the others, developer. We should consider, for projects, we should also look into Mistral 7B. It costs 10 times less than OpenAI, right? So what that means is if Mistral 7B is getting so much better, we might even want to consider just moving to this and then letting your users, instead of getting 600,000 words, they'll get 6 million words, right? So all of these things are going to be changing in the future. And once we install these things on our own platform, we will no longer be held captive to OpenAI. But OpenAI is building multimodal things, so it may be part of the app, but not all of the app. OpenAI also is allowing us at AutoGen Studio to use Mistral 7B and Mixtral, which is even better, which lowers the cost. So these things are happening fast, guys. We're going to be figuring it out. Please don't understand when I said, no, I can't give you insurance. What I really meant is I can't give you a guarantee, but I can guarantee you that if it takes you down, it takes me down. I have an even greater risk because I have all of the white labels and all of our income on top of it. So I don't want you to fear too much about these things. OpenAI gives you a warning, and they understand, who else has this problem? Jasper, right? All of these companies have this problem. OpenAI is not looking to put Jasper out of business because somebody wrote the F word in there. But you're at the mercy of these companies, and so we're going to do everything we can to make that a non-issue. And I can assure you, it's pretty much a non-issue. But I'm just had to let you know that if you see us ban one of your users, maybe I scared the hell out of you a little bit too much, but I did want to let you know we have the ultimate control of what users can be on the platform if they're doing something naughty, right? And they will. And my wife gives me a smiley face. It's our 9-year anniversary. We got married on the Marketers Cruise on January 25th of 2014. Can we have the end user terms and conditions for Groove so that we have the same across for our white label service? Not sure what you mean by Groove, if you mean Groove.ai or Groove.cm. Groove.cm has an we
do have to develop
ULA.
an end user license agreement
Yeah,
for,
but we will create one for
Groove.ai that we will give
Yeah.
to our white label owners. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Donna will work on that.
We don't have it ready, but we will.
Yeah. That's the stuff that, Donna and I are working on that stuff, and all that, the buttoning up stuff, is what Donna is everything from the support to all of the stuff to get you user agreements from us to your users. We're going to be getting you as well. All right. Very good. Way to go, Michael. I'm proud of you. Just a comment here. Maybe the $299 plans give them access to all our premium apps at no additional charge. I don't know what that means. I just don't know what that means, but I get where you're going, Jeff. But again, the premium, to use the apps, they're going to, they will be using your credits out of the $25 that they have, so it doesn't cost you anything. Because you're agreeing to pay up to $25 on the $299 people. But then after that, they got to buy the rollover packs once they go over it. Throttle features $299 has tasks and workflows. $199 doesn't, for example. I'm with you until we realize that people think $299 is too expensive. I'm going to let you guys decide, but I'm kind of thinking that $199 is a sweet spot. And, I'm wondering, like, if this was my own platform, could you just offer like some really cool value and just keep it simple? It's like $99 for $99 a month for single use, and just give them everything at $199, unlimited team, 25 team members, unlimited projects, and all that stuff, and just simplified pricing. Right now, we're going to keep it at the 3, but what I'm telling you is, let's look at it as community and see where we come together. Michael is very excited. Michael Lee Sr. This is great. I put $6,000 to cover my first year. So Michael, way to go, my man. Look, I said my piece on this, and some of you are saying I'm invested because I see a future in this, and I love that. Nothing would make me happier than to see some of you took this as a biz op and said, time to put the big boy pants on. I've got a great opportunity here. I know there's risk reward. It's going to cost me $497 a month. If I get 5 people, I get to break even. I'll get my aunt to buy this damn thing if I have to, but I'm going to turn this into a business. I'm all for it. My suggestion to you, Michael, and everyone else that's here is get in the AI knowledge business. If you want to really make this thing succeed, become an artificial intelligence genius in content creation. Start learning how to use the platform and start making YouTube videos on. I'm going to show you how I wrote a book using my platform. I'm going to show you how I wrote a long form sales letter, and go out there and create a training program and say, here's the thing. With my training program for just, $99 a month, you're going to get access to my trainings, live streams every Tuesday, and free access to my software that gives you all of this. Yes, if you charge $299 for coaching, you can give them an account for free, right? You're just flipping the script, okay? John Korf. Nice to talk to you, John. John and I have been texting and the last couple of days. And John, you're going to be very happy with the document that I put out on Friday and everything that you see on Tuesday at 2 p.m. as well. To answer your question, get clarification on content of each plan. Imagine on sheet tomorrow. Yes, John, everything that you asked me for in that text message, you should have tomorrow, my friend. Thank you for being patient. Happy people, mindset mastery. Mike, that's awesome. Look, we're going back. We're not sure what that was referenced to. Didn't realize we have to apply for GroovePay. Is that what you recommend? You don't have to apply for GroovePay. Now, if Matt was here, he'd be tapping me going, shh, tell them not to use Stripe and PayPal. Just tell them to use GroovePay. Let's use GroovePay. You can use GroovePay. I recommend it. Of course, I think it's better than Stripe. But we're going to go over all of your options on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we're going to show you how you set up your product in GrooveCell, and then how you use any merchant processor of your choice. I'm going to recommend that you use PayPal and GroovePay, or PayPal and Stripe. But you can use just PayPal. You can use just GroovePay. You can use just Stripe. You can use Stripe and PayPal. You can use GroovePay and PayPal. You can go out to some other third party and get your own merchant account with Chase Bank, and then they're going to give you all of your information to connect it to Authorize.net or NMI. You can do all of that. The money goes into your bank account on day one, and you don't have to pay us any royalties at all. All right. Already in development. So I'm sure maybe Eric, you look a little like Mike Koenig's in your photo there. But yes, we are in development of the apps, and the workflows are going to be starting as soon as we're hiring a couple of new developers, 2 new guys just to work on the workflows, the studio. Oh, guys, this is about the white label, but we do have this right here. As you can see, there it is, autogen, right? The marketplace. There's a lot of stuff here. I'm so excited about this project. I want you guys to know something. I just want to make a statement. That all the effort that I'm putting into Groove.ai, I'm putting into Groove.cm. The white label is a big thing for us this year. We also have something called Groove Agency. We have the Traffic Syndicate coming out in February. I'm busier than I've ever been. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm getting up. I'm doing my exercise. I'm working really hard. If I can just go on the little rant here for you guys for maybe a minute to 2. I want to take this time to thank you guys for showing up and being our best people. I had a speakeasy mastermind, a local Boca event yesterday. Let me show you like a little video of that. So you know what? Let me open it up with QuickTime Player, and then you could actually hear it. So that should open it, and now you'll hear it. So this is the studio set up here, and this is not Andrea, but this is the people here. So there's a lot of people. As you can tell, it's getting a lot louder as we go around here. Yes, that's John Walker, Jeff Walker's brother. And we'll probably see some familiar faces. All And that's it. Hope you're feeling better. So just yesterday, I had, did you guys see that? Donna, that was on my screen, right? Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, I see what's on the screen. So, just yesterday, we had the local Boca speakeasy. We do it, once a month. And that was the first kickoff. And so it was about 40 people locally. And look, if you live in South Florida and you want to come, talk to me about it. And, we are entrepreneurs. We like to be around entrepreneurs. The reason why I bring this up is I had 2 people come up to me yesterday, and about 7 of you on the Marketers Cruise come up to me. And the first thing that they say is, well, after, hey, Mike, how are you? How everything? By the way, I'm a backer for Groove.cm and Groove.ai. And the first thing I do, I turn around, I give that person a hug, and a good one of those nice 2-second long hugs with the extra squeeze. And I say, thank you. The backers are what made everything possible. And, sometimes you talk to experts, the people that are helping you raise money or whatever. And the first thing they want to do is there any way we could go back to those people and get them to? No, absolutely not. That's those people helped us build, you guys helped us build the company to what it is today. And you white label owners are just, another feather in the cap of people that we get to provide a service to. You're just another extension of that customer. And I noticed that it's you guys that always come on these live streams with us. And you're awesome, and you're polite, and you have your questions, and you're pushing us, and you're nudging us. You understand what we're doing. And every now and then, I have to talk to that one person that didn't even show up for the live stream, right? That's in the Facebook group, because what you guys don't see, or maybe you do, you're in the Facebook groups, right? There's just, there's just some mean people in the world, and everybody has a right to be upset at Groove for the things that we get wrong. And I'm the first to tell my people, when somebody chews us out, I say, the person's not wrong. The person's not wrong. They just lost the rights to, the privilege of being in the Facebook group. But, if they want their money back, do this, do that, because we recognize where we overpromised. And one of the things we want to stop doing is, we were excited about what we could do with Groove, and we recognize that. But I will tell you that having guys like you really helps us, because the people that tear at us, they put our team in tears with the way that they come at us. They at the help desk, in the Facebook group, and I see it in the Skype group. And Robert Murray, God bless his soul, he's doing something that was very taxful on David Lemon. Like, David Lemon literally came to us and said, I need to get moved out. Like, this has robbed my soul from me. Like, we work so hard in this company, and there's just this 1% of the population that rips my soul out and doesn't want to make me want to, we all say it. We go into the Facebook group like this, and it's like, oh, good, it's a good day, right? And for people to come to work and work hard, we get it. We got to take our licks when we don't get things on time and do those different things. I will just say this: the personal messages that we get sometimes, like, I can deal with being called a scammer and a fraud. Like, people are always going to say that about, and get it out, bark all you want. But, we see things like, Mike, all you do is chase shiny objects. How about you focus on Groove.cm and this Groove.ai? What's next? Are you going to be going into Bitcoin and all this? Well, hey, look, those things hurt. They don't know us. They don't know how hard we're working. So I just got to come back to say thank you to you guys for just being there for us. We appreciate you guys in more ways than you know. We don't chase the shiny objects. We do get a lot of deal flow and a lot of opportunities, and we bit off more than we can chew. And I don't think we learned that lesson enough. If I could also tell you another thing that you're going to be seeing this year, that comes with a big yellow shame on our back. And that's how much we mail here at Groove. As you guys know, we had a really tough year in 2022. Really, really tough year. Tougher than it should have been. We had a lot of things just not go our way. And we put too much money into the development of Groove with a company that just wasn't as good as we had hoped. And we had to come up realized that in the team that we had in India. And now we got a great team that all works for Groove, all as employees. So happy we ripped that Band-Aid off back in August of last year. But having said that, this put us $1.8 million in debt. We were $500,000 in debt to our affiliates. We had to come clean. I think it was about, November of last year, right when ChatGPT was coming out. We were out there telling everybody, hey, this is what happened. And we have, 1.8 million in debt that we got to climb out. We promise you affiliates, we're going to pay you. And we paid you. And we had to do this. And, we did the backer program for Groove.ai. You guys helped us build it. We didn't have the money to build it. Obviously, you guys helped us. It also injected a lot of money into the company. It just made it, the good days were here again. And as we continue to pay down that debt, I want to let you know something that we did. And in many ways, it was a violation of the trust that we have with you guys, but we had to do it to survive. And I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just letting you know what we did. We mailed the shit out of that list in a way that was just embarrassing. We had to not only mail on Groove Digital Presents, but we pumped up the amount of emails that you got from Groove Digital Presents. And then we needed additional money. So we created Mike Filsaime Recommends. Why am I getting an email from Mike Filsaime Recommends and from Groove.ai? I'm from Groove Digital Presents. And then at one time, because we were fitting in everything that we could, bringing in the money and the affiliate income that was helping us get everything done, we put in John Cornetta Recommends. And, here's another founder, mail from that. And God, I don't even want to look at the inbox, the amount of emails we get from Groove on top of, you just made a sale, you made a referral. It's like the amount of spam that we sent, this necessary evil that we had to do with the amount of promotions. The good news is we only promoted things that we believed in, but we did what we had to do to survive. And it was a real bad look on the company. It's like, God, these people are so friggin' opportunistic. To tell you how much money we made for mailing that much each month is embarrassingly low. Embarrassingly low. We destroyed our open rates. We destroyed our credibility with you. We destroyed our click-through rates. Spam. Open this, final day, last this, last that. And while we're mailing for Groove.ai, we're promoting for somebody else. And maybe for an additional $40,000 to $60,000 per month, which was needed, that brought in, $600,000 for the year. That was money that we needed at that time. We did what we needed to survive. I want you to know from us, we didn't feel good about that. Donna, if there was, one thing that would have driven Donna to walk away from this company, it was how much we mailed. She would not stand for it. And regardless, she gave us an ultimatum. And I said, deal January 1st. And we had one closeout for Bob and Pamela under Mike Filsaime Recommends. So starting January 1st, there is no more Mike Filsaime Recommends. There is no more John Cornetta Recommends. And, I'm going to go on the ledge here and say this. And Donna, as we get better here, our goal for some time in 2024, and if I could do it tomorrow, because I think we're committed out for another 4 months, I would just get rid of Groove Digital Presents completely. If we have fooled you into thinking that Groove Digital Presents is, and Donna, if you want to clip this and just put it into the Facebook group, just this start of the rant to the end of the rant that I said would be 1 to 2 minutes, and I'm sure you laughed that I can't keep anything to 1 to 2 minutes. And this doesn't have anything to do with the white label. I'm just telling you how much I appreciate you guys and just being transparent. If we have gotten you to believe for a second that Groove Digital Presents is for you, then we did a good job lying to you. Groove Digital Presents is not even a necessary evil that has to be done in this business. When you do a launch, you get your people, you get Kevin Strite, you get Alicia Little, you get Mark Ling, you get people that show up and they help you. And you know what they say? I've got a launch coming out next month. Do I really care to get their launch in front? Who am I doing it more for? Them, me, or you? I'm going to be honest with you. You're third on the tier. What I make sure is that the person is good, that if you buy their product, it will help you. And I believe in their product, but I'm doing it for them because we have people knocking on our door that want reciprocations for the help that they gave us. And it's kind of hard to ask people to be there for you, to help you promote something and not be there for them. Then we do it for us because it makes money for us. And then we do it for you because we make sure that it's a good quality product. At the end of the day, we're not going to promote something we don't like. And we tell far more people no than we say yes. But we don't need that money anymore. I could care less about Groove Digital Presents. I love what Ridgely's doing. He shows up with Groove Growth and just gives you guys free content. You know, that good free content is getting lost in all this other spam. So will Groove Digital Presents ever go away? I don't know that we could ever not ever promote for another person again. But we could. We could. You know, you don't see ClickFunnels and High Level promoting anything. You don't see Jasper promoting anything. And I don't believe that we should. And so what we're probably going to do is get to the point that we're going to ask affiliates to mail, and we're just going to become real sons of bitches. You got a lot of nerve. Mike, are you serious? I sent you 70 customers at $2,000 and you're not going to mail for us? And we're going to say no. And you know what's going to happen? Those people aren't going to come back anymore, and they're not going to promote for us anymore. And you know what? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we'll just stop launching. We've got the products out there that we need. We're going to focus on doing our media buying. And if it was up to me, and I want you to know this, whether or not you see Groove Digital Presents go for another 6 months or a year or continue, or just slightly go down to once a month instead of once a week, just know that that tier comes from, we had to do a favor for someone, and then I'll move you to the second position, and then for us to the third position, because I could care less about that money. It's completely destroyed our relationship with you. I'm surprised you guys even show up. Like, the amount of weeds that you have to get through just to find out that we're actually doing a training that benefits you is sad. So I'm speaking for me right now, knowing that this is something that Donna has been talking about for 3 years. We do not want to be mailing you anything that has nothing to do with your business and how it pertains to Groove. So that's my promise to you, that you won't see Mike Filsaime recommends anymore. And as I said, I think today and tomorrow is the last one for a 4-day promo we had to do for Bob and Pam, because I'm speaking at their event this week. No more John Cornetto recommends, no more Mike Filsaime recommends. We're going to close down this calendar for Groove Digital Presents, and then it's going to the must-haves and no longer the necessary because we needed the money. So that's that. Donna, I know you're sick, 10 times more sick than I even was last week. Did you want to comment on that? And then I'm just going to continue to move on.
Just that I really appreciate everyone who has stuck with us through all of the ups and downs. I just want to reiterate all of your thanks. Our people really mean the world to us. You know, it may not feel it from time to time when we say that our tagline for Groove.cm is .cm because customers matter, but we are very aware, and it keeps us up at night knowing that your business relies on our business. And the opposite is true. This is a symbiotic relationship. We are nothing without you. You obviously have choices of other platforms, but you've chose Groove, and we take that very seriously and that responsibility very seriously. So thank you for everyone who has been with us through all these ups and downs that we've gone through these past couple of years. The future looks very bright for us, and I am so excited to be part of Groove.
Thank you, Donna. And, you know, I'm going through the messages here. You know, we're at the 3-hour mark here. What I'm going to do, Donna, do we get access to this chat that we can just like copy all and paste and then like create an FAQ document of some things? I promised everybody that we would get to all of their questions. I will take them, and I'm sure there's probably, you know, 150 things I need to click on to find out there's just 15 questions. And then we can address those in next week's, because I did promise everybody we'd answer all their questions. But, you know, some of them are, you know, just like, you know, does Groove accept API keys from other platforms that generates images? And it's just going to be more of the same into the features. So I'd like to get you guys going. I want to start working on this terms document for you guys. because I got a real busy day tomorrow, which means I got to get it done today. And then we'll take those questions and we'll roll into them on Tuesday when we get started at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. But I think we've got most of your questions in here. If we didn't, repost it again right at the front of the chat. We will see it and we'll get all that stuff in you. So yeah, really, so excited, man. I see the demo of this thing on Saturday with Artie. And so I can tell you what I'm getting from Artie. Artie was, in that video that you just saw from the mastermind yesterday. He looks at me, he goes like this: "We got a really good team." He goes, "This is the best team I've ever worked with in my life." And he goes, "They're working really hard." And I said, "Are we going to be ready for a Saturday?" He goes, "I can't wait to show you this." And he goes, "You have no idea how hard we work." I said, "No, Artie, I do. And he keeps shaking his head and he's like, but he goes, "I'm really happy with what we're doing." Now, this stuff is being delivered to the point where I get to see it on Saturday and I demo it on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go, why did you do it that way? I wish it was that way. Whatever the case is, I'll see it. I'll give him my critiques and he's going to say, "I'm not going to get that ready for Tuesday." I'm going to say, I know. I just need on Tuesday that they can get in the app, sell it, and make money. And then you and me together are going to work on getting out those features. I want to remind you again how exciting this is for you and for me and for Groove. December of last year, January or November, December of last year, we saw ChatGPT come out. I had just recently saw that Jasper, and I know the guys there. I think they're the people from I think either UseProof or ManyChat. I forget which ones they are. I think they were the guys from UseProof, but I could be wrong. But whatever the case may be, these guys they saw something 2 years before any of us did. And they saw ChatGPT 2 and John Benson was crapping on Jasper. It can't really write copy because it couldn't, but now it can. And so when I first saw it at WebinarCon, and Sean Vossler, who was working for them, made a prompt, write me a blog post about Groove. And I'd never seen text generation before. And I was like, how the hell does it know about my company? Oh my God, that's what my company does. I thought Jasper was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. In fact, we put them on a Groove Digital Presents because we booked them 4 months ahead of time before I even knew about ChatGPT. But we said, hey, let's go with it. They're good people. Even when we were building Groove.ai, we still promoted Jasper because we committed to them. And then I find out that, oh my God, Jasper just raised $125 million on a $2 billion valuation. That's insane. They're a $2 billion company. Go them. And then what I found out that they was a user interface around OpenAI. I said, no offense to Jasper. They're a great company now. They do some good things. They're going very, very enterprise. I sometimes almost don't want to show some of the stuff we're doing because, they can do it as well. But that's the way software works. But when I realized that they have no intellectual property at all, they've simply built a user interface around an AI platform. They're valued at $2 billion. That was part one where I said, hey, this is the future. Now, what happened, the reason why I didn't come up with Groove.ai for 2 months was I love ChatGPT, but there's a lot of things I hated about it. I hated that it didn't have a system prompt, and I knew that existed at OpenAI. I didn't like that you didn't have all the stuff that we created in our settings panel. It didn't have. I didn't like that you couldn't transpose it into a Google document without breaking the format. I didn't like that you couldn't share the information. You couldn't collaborate and all of these things. And then every video was coming out about AI and all these new companies. And that's why I said there'll be all these different platforms that we'll be working on. And I called the partners and I said, this is the future. No doubt about that. And I don't even want to say I was right. I'm just going to say if anybody didn't recognize that, if they thought this was the next NFTs, they didn't understand how the world was about to change. I'd never been more excited about something until I started computer programming on my Commodore 64 in 1984. I had never been more excited about anything. Not Webinar Jam when Google Hangouts came out, not when Rich Sheffrin wrote the report. And I knew that I was going to bring the best automated webinar platform in the world with EverWebinar. And not when I had the idea for Deal Guardian, which eventually became Kartra, the previous companies when I saw Groove.ai, I knew that I was the guy that understands this better than anybody. Donna will tell you, she stays at my house a few times. I do nothing but watch 4 to 5 hours a day at night, from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. of YouTube videos, and I flood them to Artie and everybody like that. And you know what he tells me? Mike, I can't keep up with the stuff that you're doing. I am on top of this stuff, and that's why I was ready for the GPTs, and that's why there was 30 of them within a week after they came out. That's why I know what's coming with workflows. And I put this stuff on a mind map back in February. And the fact that I'm seeing this get done with some of the best developers I've ever seen, and that you guys get to put your name on this and own it, I can promise you one thing. This is not a shiny object. I love Groove.cm and I love Groove.ai. It's like we had another baby, and I love them both the same. And we've got a better team now at Groove.cm. These apps will work better together. They'll integrate well together. And I am so excited about the future, because remember, we got the idea for this just before I went on the cruise. And then when we came back in February, the first thing we did is we did a backer project, and I sold you guys on a mind map of what we're going to build. And then we hired the developers, and they didn't start coding until May, June, July, August, 4 months of development. And then September 1st, you guys got access to this. And then we continued to work on it September, October. And then in November, we had to start working on the white label, because we had 2 weeks in November, we had December, and a couple of days in January, right? We had to make the user interface for you to run the white label, because we had 600 customers that took that option. And the fact that we've been able to build what we've built in just a few months, and we've got that Trello board, and you guys see the apps are coming, and you see these workflows, and we're going to be able to build websites with Groove and all those images and stuff. That year went by like that. I remember being on the Marketers Cruise and having a discussion with Donna and Matt and John saying, we're going to build this thing. And here we are. I'm off the Marketers Cruise a year later. When you see what Groove.ai will be in the next year, when we don't have to do a mind map, and I don't have to do launches, and we don't have to do backer projects, and all that stuff is gone, all I'm going to be doing is focusing on developing Groove.cm and Groove.ai. You're going to see the best development year from Groove you guys have ever seen. So with that, I'm going to see you guys on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, right here in the live stream. Take care, everybody, and we're going to lead you out with some Groove.ai music. More Groove training will coming soon. We've got a lot coming this year. I'm excited for everyone. Let's make 2024 great. See you guys soon.